Welcome to the ESA studio, live right now here on your screen. It's me, Bozemax, and Uncooked Cast. Welcome, good evening, everyone. How are you doing, Uncooked?
I'm happy to be in the bunker.
The
It's new.
bunker.
I haven't been in down in the basement before, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's good to finally get to see the bright lights behind me, and it's not just the sun through my window.
I must say, it's a beautiful place. Like, it's really cool to
Yeah,
finally have such a good improvement on the side of ESA. Finally, they have gathered the budget to just make such a cool place. Construction did take some time,
yeah.
but I'm very happy to be here. The desk, everything feels so new. There's no scratches or whatsoever, and it's just a beautiful place to be
Yeah.
here. The
I also
travel,
don't have a torso. I'm just arms and a head.
yeah, that's just one of those weird
That's
things.
just
Like I
yeah.
think I think those are still on the way for some reason. Um, just one of the things like the travel
Maybe
time to
maybe
this.
maybe by the grand final they might arrive.
Yeah, like all the travel time to this place. That's just one of the big things, you know. Like I even heard that this place is apparently in Old Max's basement. So that's actually yeah, there was quite a bit of travel all the way to Finland.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a cool place. I'm very happy with this new setup. It looks very pretty in here.
for sure.
And yeah, before yeah, enough about the studio. We have actually a pretty cool match coming up today, which you can actually already see right below here on our desk. A very cool screen
Pretty
built in
cool.
there. Very cool. It's
Pretty
actually
cool.
eWAVE versus NightWolves, two teams that we have already seen before.
Yeah,
eWAVE, of course, we have seen them play yesterday. They were the
yeah.
loser of the upper brackets in the upper bracket round two, the fourth match, where they played against Villains. It was a very close match. You can probably tell us a bit more about that one, as you were one of the people who casted that match.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't. Especially Chalet is one to forget
Mhm.
for eWave. That's for sure. It just didn't really go their way. There were some strategies that I thought maybe weren't the best idea. There are a couple glaring issues there, but overall, it felt like Villains kind of just had the better read and had the better gunfights, and they won it 2-1. So yeah, Villains the second of the two bye teams actually won
Mhm.
their upper bracket quarter final, because the other two, which were Misclick and Team Black,
Mhm.
actually came down to the lower bracket. We'll be seeing those teams in action later this week. But
Ooh.
yeah, for now, eWave versus NightWolve, and NightWolve had a bit of a different path to get here, and you've casted
Mhm.
both of those games, so I wonder
Yeah.
if you'll be able to give us some more light on this team.
Yeah, let's actually close in a bit. We are a bit far away from here. Let's bring the camera a little bit closer, cameraman. Just come a bit closer. Oh, that's actually not the way it's supposed to happen. Excuse me. It's a very new studio. The cameraman is a bit new.
Yeah,
Just come a bit closer. There you go.
there we
Finally, he
go.
listens. He knows what to do. The cameraman is now a bit
Hooray!
closer. You can just see our faces a bit more clear on your screen. But yeah, Nightwolves, of
Although
course, a
mine's
team that
gone blurry, so it's
Nightwolves, a team that we have seen a
classic.
few times before. Let me just quickly bring up the bracket. Actually, that will make things a little bit easier to talk about them. Of course,
Honestly,
the bracket is a very big bracket, so let's just zoom in on the parts that we have seen Nightwolves. They did start in the upper bracket where they did play against the Tracker clan, previously known as, am I saying it correctly?
Yod,
MVG? No, Yacht. Thank you.
Yod.
It's also MVG was no, sorry, MVG. It was also Manic Suicides. We also changed the name to Empire Esports. But yes,
Yeah,
indeed, it was Yacht would change their name to Tracker Clan. They actually managed to beat Nightwolves after Nightwolves started in a very unfortunate, the first map, very unfortunate way with a 4 versus 5 situation. So
yeah,
that match wasn't their best. But after that, of course, they went to the lower brackets where we will now actually see them for the first time. Actually, then right? Am I seeing the correct? No, it's for the second time. They did play against Votel, which they beat with a 2-0 score.
yeah,
I mean, actually, you should be able to hear lower bracket here. This will be a bit easier to see. The lower brackets, they won with a 2-0 against Votum Gaming, and then today they will be playing against eWAVE. So this is going to be a very interesting one. I'm very curious to see how these teams will do. But before we jump into this match, let's actually see what our community is expecting of this match. Because, of course, again, like
let's
always,
find
we're
out.
doing a little Twitter prediction, and I'm actually very curious to see what our viewers are actually
Drum
expecting of
roll.
this match. Yeah, let's bring out the
Oh,
drums. Let me just quickly see if we can actually bring this information on the screen. It should be popping up
I'm
anytime
rolling.
soon.
I'm drum rolling.
And there we go. It should be
Holding.
popping up right now.
Hey, there it
Hey,
is.
that's a quiet big difference actually. By the way, it's
Yeah,
76% for E-Wave versus 24 for Nightwolves. That's a fair bit of a difference. As far as I know, these teams haven't played against each other, so for both of them it will be a bit new. There might be some players that have met each other before, as there have been quite a bit of roster changes on either team, really. But yeah, this is going to be first for them, but clearly the community is siding with eWAVE mostly and is expecting them to win this match for today. Of course, it's going to be another BO3. We're now back in the lower bracket after we have been in the upper bracket for the past week. So this week, we're going to say goodbye to another 4 teams. And either of these 2 teams is unfortunately going to lose here. It's going to be saying goodbye. It's going to go home. And the other one, of course, will continue into the lower brackets round 3.
And then we'll have our top 8.
Sorry?
And then we'll have our top 8 teams, which
then
is
we have
very,
our top 8.
exciting.
Yeah, that's only 25% of the total teams that participated.
That's crazy considering how quickly it feels like it's come from the start of the season when we were casting 6 chalets a week.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it feels like it's so long ago yet so close. But it's actually been quite a while since we started out the season.
Yeah, for sure. And even consider that in just under a month, we will have a grand final, which is on the 14th of May. So just a little under a month till we're there. And then this whole season will be done. We will have our new ESA Cup champion. But before that, of course, we have a few more weeks to go. And of course, also this match. So let's just quickly jump into the map bans here. We're slightly delayed, but let's just actually see on which maps we're going to be playing today, so we can hopefully start this match soon. So let me just bring up the map bans right here. It is Team eWAVE starting on the bans, and the first map they're banning is
Clubhouse, taken off the board by eWAVE, and we will start to whittle this through. Now, one thing that we did get to see yesterday, which I was very excited about, was the very first theme park of the playoffs, and it hasn't been taken out yet. Skyscraper has, though, which again is another rare map. We've only seen it once in the playoffs as well. So as these maps start to come down, Cafe and Bank as well, we do get to first map, which is indeed theme park. So that's
cool.
That's very exciting.
And that's still border is also still there. It's also one of those maps we haven't really seen that much. I'm actually hoping that we're gonna be able to see that one eventually a bit more. It's one of those really underpicked maps, both in the group stage so far, but also the playoffs. So I'm really hoping that we're gonna see a bit more of border anytime soon. That would be very nice. It's a fun map, especially in BO3s. Let's just see how things. Yeah, let's just see how things will continue from here. So, unfortunately, the thing we're hoping to see, it's not hoping. It's not happening. So then
now Villa or Chalet, the 2 most played maps in the league, and it's going to be Villa.
It's going to be Villa indeed. So let's just see the final side picks that we actually know. I'm actually not sure whether the side pick that I just put there is 100% correct. I might have just misclicked there.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. Shit happens. But either way, this is the map bans for today. We now know which maps we're going to be playing. We're going to start out on Team Park, after which we'll be going to Oregon, and after we'll be heading to Villa, which will then
eWAVE are starting on attack on Theme Park. So
so that's a quick change that we need to keep in mind for now. But that's just a little detail. So
a little bit of an oopsie poopsie from Bozamax.
Oopsie poopsie from Bozamax indeed. So Team Park, the first map for today. What are you expecting of this map?
Well, we saw Theme Park yesterday from eWAVE. That was the decider, the map number 3, and Villains took it 7-5. It was actually an interesting statistic that was brought up. I'll bring it up again. Theme Park, about a 60% attacking win rate, which is very unusual considering that Theme Park usually is one of the more defender-sided maps in the pool. But
interesting.
Not the case here. 61.5% of the rounds going the way of the attack. And eWAVE were only able to get 3 attacking rounds in their first half against the Villains. And then, it just came a bit of a struggle. One thing for me, I just want to see if they've improved this a little bit when it gets to their defenses. Obviously, they are starting out on attack, but when it gets to their defenses, their hold on Throne and Armory was not very good. They held quite laterally across into Lab, and that hold just kind of got picked apart every single time by the attack. So that's going to be one of the focusing points for me. However, their attacks generally seemed pretty sound, especially when going on to Armory Throne. But again, part of that leads me to think about the way that the defense played that. And yeah, defenders didn't necessarily have the best of times on theme park yesterday. So again, that might just be something that we have to take a little peep at as to see whether the statistics hold up.
Indeed, and it's actually time to start the match. All the players are ready as far as I'm considered. So let's just start it with this match. We can now see the introduction video of Team Park, one that we haven't seen too many times yet. So I'm very happy to see this beautiful map. It's a very cool reworked map that's already been reworked quite some time ago, but still we don't see it too often. It's often avoided. And yeah, let's just jump into this map for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just quickly jump into it. Obviously, we do have the operator Vito, and Jackal is going to be the first taken off of the board. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense on this map. You know, you've got a lot of off-site positions that defenders need and want to hold. So to take them off the board, first of all, is definitely not a bad choice, especially as Nock coming through as well. Kind of a similar thing. You want to try and hold the off-site positions as much as you can. Nock and Jackal are going to be disrupting you when you're trying to do that.
Indeed, they will be. Jackal and Nock, two very important operators off the board. I do think we have seen them quite often during this competition, especially Solos is another one of those. Currently, Solo is the most banned operator, just slightly more than Nock, on 56 times. That's a 53% for the defender bans. So not too surprised to see both of those operators. And actually Jackal also 32 times, 30%. And you could almost guess that there's going to be a Valkyrie or a Mira ban after this one if it kind of follows its statistics. But Azami is also one of those highly banned defenders, which is currently has been banned currently 23 times, 22%. So these bans are fairly default, but at the same time there are very good operators also on maps like Team Park. So it's also understandable to see these kind of operator bans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be the well, it's certainly not going to be the most unorthodox op Vito, that is for sure. So head into round number 1. We can see the defenders starting to set up of Armory Throne. And this is, again, going to be an interesting point because we saw this site be pretty well attacked yesterday. And honestly, that's, I think, the only time I've casted Theme Park this season. So apologies if I do compare it to yesterday a lot. I don't have the biggest sample size to go off of. So we will see eWAVE. They've done pretty well here before. However, again, there was some questionable defense decisions, especially looking towards that hatch that above split. That was actually opened up by the defenders when eWAVE were attacking. That was opened up by villains. And they were able to use that quite well to actually get an execute onto the site. So now that this has been reinforced, obviously they do still have hard breach charges in the hands of the Ying, but it is a difference that they are going to have to adapt to just because of how differently it is being played by the defense.
Yeah, indeed. And this time it's actually attacking team already approaching the building fairly quickly. Already Ash being one of those operators we use fairly close towards the drug storage, drug lab storage entrance, the window, I mean. And there's actually mostly just waiting right outside there. We're currently playing a lab through one of his C4s, or the only C4 of course that he has, and unfortunately didn't manage to do any bit of damage. It's nice to see him being playing there, trying to stop those attackers early in their tracks. But as the Ash already is making her way into the bathrooms, he needs to be very careful because the Ash is getting very close. Even the Jaeger's just playing right below Yellow and actually gets picked off. That's a headshot right there on Klax, taking out the first defender, bringing this round to a 5 versus 4 situation.
Bankers, though, does respond, taking out Dex, and that's your sledge. That's all of your grenades now thrown down the toilet. So Wamai, almost a bit ironic that the Wamai is the one to take out the player with the grenades. And Dipsy, though, is aggressing forwards on the top floor, using that Montaigne shield, the Le Roc shield of that operator, just pushing through, clearing all of these angles, and really doing a lot of work to push the defenders out of this top floor. Vente does just provide some support with the drones as well, and that is going to mean that Shanks has to just fall back.
Yeah, I thought there was still one player playing upstairs, but of course Team Blue is currently the attacking team. So yeah, it's now 4 versus 4 situation with just 1 minute and 10 seconds remain on the clock. Attackers are trying to make their way towards the bomb site. I mean, there's 2 currently towards the barrel engine, barrel area, but there's actually 1 player playing right there. It's currently the Wamai. He's currently stuck in barrel and gets picked off by Scurry. That's another kill there from the Ashe, or actually the first kill of the Ashe. No, second kill of the Ashe, I'm saying it correctly. There's a second kill of the Ashe after she also took out the Jaeger before. It's a 4 versus 3 situation with just Shanks, Blacklist, and Phantom alive with still 40 seconds remaining. This might still work in the advantage of the defending team, as the attacking team still has quite a bit of things to do in order to be able to go for a successful attack. Ace charges are coming out, which will make things more possible for them to just put a bit more pressure on the bomb site. And as things are happening, Shanks is getting damaged quite a bit. Is playing here on the side, just looking for any of the attackers. Vantex with the kill on Blacklist. It's a 4 versus 2 now, which is Phantom and Shanks remaining.
Yeah, and here come the Candelas. We saw eWAVE use Ying to great effect yesterday on their executes. And as the Candelas start to ring through and Dipsy's getting that plant down, it's actually Scurry to find another kill. Rizlaraz with the last, and eWAVE another successful attack onto Armory and Throne. So Trend continues with attackers. That 60% win rate. It certainly shows why with how well teams are able to use operators like Ying, like Montaigne, especially on this bomb site, which you would argue is one of the strongest for the defense. So it is that same story, and we are going to see a replay of the site. This time, though, a couple of different picks, notably Shanks on the Capcan.
Yeah, Capcan is of course one of those operators that we do tend to see quite often. He can be very strong, especially like it's just like kind of like a Frost. Like when the higher the level of gameplay, the higher of skill, we do tend to see some very aggressive plays, and sometimes there's just not enough time to actually check for such traps, and that's why we do tend to see both Frost and Capcan quite often in these matches. Both of them are being picked as well right now, so we will see some action from that from those kind of gadgets. And just like previous round, there was just so little time remaining towards the end of the round, and if then any Capcan trap or Frost trap is placed in one of those high traffic areas around the bomb site, then those can be absolutely devastating, even getting kills potentially. I mean, Frost trap of course isn't injured by Capcan traps, especially if the player was damaged before, or if there's placed multiple, then those can be very devastating and can really help you to win a round as a defender.
Yeah, Ventix bringing the Amaru, which is, there was a last-minute switch off onto this operator, so gonna be... My interest is piqued to see how they're going to use the quick entry of the Gara hook inside of this round. Obviously, they need to make sure that there aren't any sneaky frost mats from Phantom underneath the windows that Ventix is trying to enter from. And indeed, here they come straight into the site drone, spotting out a defender, but the pre-fires come through. I believe that's Shanks inside of Daycare, and the swing comes through from Ventix. Easy as you like, takes that opening kill. Banker's now regressing up the stairs. They are going to have to deal with Dipsy as well, pushing in through Cafeteria, just taking a bit of a dip away, a bit of a rotate, but it's Rizraz who finds a kill onto the Wamai. So 5 versus 3 now, eWAVE in a much better position than they even were last round. And this time, NightWolve, they've got to try and hold on in this 5 versus 3 with 105 seconds left in the round.
Yeah, and as the time is continuing, there's just 3 defenders remaining. Wamai losing, of course, his life. Very unfortunate, because his gadget was still recharging, was still building up its utility, and therefore some of that is lost. C4 Mimo coming out from the Mozzie, unfortunately not hitting its target, because I think it was aimed from the Monty, who's still coming closer and closer. So Blacklist is getting in a very tough position, especially as he can actually be trapped inside the room. I don't think there's any rotation, no, just a small hole, but that's not big enough. They can technically just trap him, but still, he manages to find a kill on Vex. Will he get a second? Wamai is on extending his shields, but then Scurry comes in at the right moment, finds Blacklist, takes him out, and brings this match to a 4 versus 2 situation. Only Keeks and Phantom left alive, both playing in the bomb site. Attackers still have 1 minute to put some pressure on them. And so first, we will see some of the verticality coming out as charges and the... Oh no, unfortunately, the Flash has been taken out of action, but still the Ashe being in play. But also still bridging charges in the pool, which can make it very difficult for the defenders to play on site, as there's less and less cover as the seconds proceed.
Yeah, time are ticking down though, which could spell trouble for the attack, especially if both Keeks and Phantom go for a double swing. In the chaos of those final few moments, there could actually be a very feasible round here for the attack. Dipsy just rushes in, the Candela's come through, and he's going to start to get that diffuser planted. Phantom, though, can't find the flick onto Rizraz. Keeks now 1 versus 4, finds a first, but can't get any more than that. As eWAVE, 2 rounds on the board, 2 successful attacks onto Armory and Throne. For NightWolve, might be time to change tack here.
Yeah, if you tend to lose 2 rounds in a row, then you need to really question whether your setup or your execution on the defense is working. Of course, the bomb site has 4 different options to pick from, so there's enough other options to try. Yeah. They should have plenty of strategies for those other bomb sites, and they should be able to pull those off as well. So hopefully, by picking a different bomb site, they will be a bit more successful. I actually didn't check. Is my game freezing? Oh no, I thought my game was freezing for a moment, but it wasn't. So yeah, like I was saying, hopefully there's plenty of other options. In this case, they will be going to Bunk Daycare, a very familiar bomb site, which is being extended towards the initiation side. And from here, they can hopefully go for a bit more of a successful defense. Because if they will lose this one as well, it will be a 3-0, and that will be a bit tough to come back from. Especially if it's a 3-0, 3 rounds lost in a row, your morale might drop a bit, and that's another good thing for the remainder of this map.
No, obviously this is eWAVE's map.
10 seconds remaining.
I believe. Actually, no, maybe.
It was eWAVE to start ban, so they also were the first one to pick. So this is eWave's map.
Okay, yes. This was eWave's map pick. I just got confused by a bit of a different order, but yeah. So eWave's map pick. So obviously they're going to be coming into this with a little bit more confidence, but at the same time, NightWolve did choose to start on the defense, and they're already 2-0 down. So, if they think that the defense is their best side here in this map, then well, they might just be in for a shock, because eWAVE are doing very well. We're seeing the Brava being brought along now. Obviously, you need the line of sight for those gadgets to collect them. And we do see the Flores coming through as well. Rizraz finding the first, which means that there is a lot being taken away, both lives and utility. As now the Mozzie can't drive those drones around that he's stolen. They can also be taken back by the Brava of Dipsy, who, getting some default cams and sort of bits of information like that. It's going to be a very difficult round for NightWolve. Now that they're in this disadvantage, they're going to have to try and go for some aggressive plays. We have seen Dex be the opening death for his side, or not necessarily in the entire round, but the first death for eWAVE twice in a row now. So with the Amaru, hopefully with a bit of a better gun, the LMG might just be able to provide the kills that they need to get this done. Obviously, it hasn't really mattered too much, but you want that individual confidence. We've seen Dex be a pretty good player. I think it was an ace 1v4 yesterday that really helped eWAVE sail through on this very map, and it went all the way to 12.
Yeah, and currently we're actually seeing a very nicely spread out attack from the attacking team, which is Team Blue, of course, which is eWAVE. Currently 2 members playing from the eastern side of the map, while the other ones are coming from the western side of the map, making it very difficult for the defenders to play offside, and as they can be close from either direction. So they need to be very careful. Also, Slash coming from below Yellow Sim, fortunately getting taken out by Shanks, bringing things to 4 versus 4. But Flores drones coming out, a lot of chaos happening at the moment. Meanwhile, Ventic with the kill, and also Dipsy with the kill, and Security with the kill. 3 defenders taken out in a very short amount of time, and just finishing things off, getting the final kill there on Phantom, and just putting this round another one to the side of eWAVE, putting the score on 3-0, where things clearly are not going the way of NightWolves for these first 3 rounds.
This could be a fairly quick series here, Max. I don't think that is necessarily a bold statement at this point in time. We see 3 very clean, very clinical attacks from eWAVE, where it hasn't necessarily been close. Yeah, the time has kind of gone down a little bit, but they've kind of had 3-4 players left alive every single round so far, and we kind of need to see eWAVE tested here, on the entrance into the map. And you've still got 3 players from eWAVE who haven't even died yet. No player on NightWolve has more than 1 pick. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's indeed very unfortunate. Like the gun fights that are just not winning is one of the big things, but also we did see, for example, the Muzzy losing his life very early on
Yeah.
while he was playing very aggressively, trying to take out one of those players in drug storage with the C4. And that is just like one of those unfortunate things that could technically be avoided. Yes, it could have very much gone in his way. It's just a bit of unluck, you could say, or being a bit unlucky. But at the same time, if you would start avoiding those kind of risks, then potentially there will be a bit more success on the defensive side, as they will be more. They will have more members alive towards the end of the round, which is more valuable.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like maybe you need like a Goyo or someone just to try and stall out the attack a bit more.
Yeah.
But you know, we are seeing a Doc being brought alongside, which does kind of make sense, you know, especially if you're getting caught on these entry engagements, you can just get yourself juiced right back up. However, just looking at this utility, that one drone is going to take 2 ADSs and a deployable shield, and very much completely weakens and maybe even just completely cripples the hold into cafeteria from the side of NightWolve. There is just one sort of punch hole that the attack need to be aware of, because everything else is just fair game now that that utility's cleared.
Yeah, that's just such a smart usage of the Goyo utility, and also Ashtar being used to take out the bulletproof camera. It's currently eWAVE being very successful on taking out those bits of utility, which is certainly gonna aid their attack on this bomb site. Meanwhile, again, the Thatcher using his EFP nades, just taking care of any of those potentially placed utility that could deny the plant. Of course, those weren't placed, as there's no mutant bandit or complete available. But still, better be sure. Dipsy this way, opening the wall towards Punk, where he has a very nice angle, but a drone hole! Something you wouldn't expect in this situation. The smoke just spraying very sneakily at the drone hole. And this could actually become a very first round for NightWolves, as it's now 2 versus 5 situation, but just 2 eWAVE members remaining left standing. Dex, however, making things a bit more possible for him and his team as he takes out the Jaeger. But still, it's a 2 versus 4. Double the man count on the defensive sides, but this nade potentially could make things
just
a bit
shoot him.
Yeah.
Just shoot through the drone hole. You get that pick there. It doesn't matter as Dex finds another one, but now it is just Dex all alone. We saw an ace 1 versus 4. Needs to be an ace 1 versus 3, but won't get done as Bankers closes things out. And NightWolve get their very first round on the board. eWAVE, some questionable decisions, but in general or overall, very good round for NightWolve. Say they pick up their first defense. It looks a little bit less all completely lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
this could be this could really be the moment that they're waiting for, like just waiting for the wake up call that hopefully just boost the morale of the team and just wake them up, have them play a bit more successful. Of course, it could very much be that just eWAVE wasn't as strong this round, that they just I'm not actually entirely sure why NightWolves has been able to win this round. I mean, they did play a bit more safer. They didn't lose any people very early on, so that is certainly one of the factors that
Scurry
did
being
help.
opening death was huge, actually.
Yeah.
For Shanks being able to take off, you know, the top frag and the Ash on 6 kills, you know, that's a massive pick.
Yeah, it is a very massive pick, and just not having those happen is certainly boosting the side of NightWolves. And as we now head into the 5th round, this will be the but one last round that they will be playing on the defense. So hopefully for them, they can at least try to win 1 or 2 more rounds to just make the score a bit more on their side. Otherwise, things are still going to be very difficult. Again, of course, eWAVE here on the attack. They're going to start on their 5th attack attempt on this map, and currently they're still doing very well as they have only lost 1 so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming in to this round, we're going to see Initiation and Office being the defensive site that we go to. And obviously NightWolve, if they win this one, we might just see another Armory Throne. Not entirely sure about that one. Obviously, we do need to find the result of this round first. But hopefully with that 1 round win on the board, they're going to be feeling a little bit more confident, a little bit better about themselves. And you know what they say, winning is indeed a trend. And if you can start that going, you might just get all the way. I think it was... what game was it? It was a game that I casted last week where the opening team got like the first team got 4 rounds, and then it just went 7 rounds completely the other way. So, you know, you can have the possibility of these comebacks coming through, and getting a 3-3 defensive half here would be absolutely massive.
It certainly would be, and this round currently going on for almost 1.5 minutes, so almost half the round has expired. Texas actually have been able to get quite a bit of control over the each side of the map, just waiting for one of those opening picks, waiting for one of the mistakes of the defenders to just expose himself and to get that opening kill. Also, Monty Milo putting more and more pressure towards the bottom area, and yet it's Curry, the first kill there on Black, is taken out the dock. No more stims there for the defensive side, and that's of course opening kill. What eWAVE was hoping for, was waiting for, which will allow them to put more and more pressure on the bot side itself.
With 1 minute left to go in this round, it's going to be eWAVE that need to try and find a bit more of an aggressive push, trying to find an execute in towards the bomb side. Obviously, they do have that Montaigne to try and deal with that. As the prone angles come through from the defense, it's not going to matter. But you have Dipsy with 1, Keeks is down as well. It's a 2 versus 5, make it a 2 versus 4. Shanks finds 1, finds 2 inside of the waiting room, and Phantom doubles down. It's now a 2 versus 2 because Keeks is still down. Scurry, though, is aware of the rotation as Dipsy finishes off the Jaeger, and Shanks does catch him off guard but can't get the kill as Phantom finds Scurry. It's a 1 versus 1, Mira versus Monty here in the final 25 seconds of the round, and this should be pretty easily won for Phantom. Obviously, you just don't want the Montaigne to catch you off guard. It's time to get this diffuser down.
15 seconds to go.
And actually might stick this. Phantom needs to find this rotation, but no, it gets stuck. Can't get the kill though. As Phantom, a massive 3k, 1 versus 2, finds the round, and NightWolve get 2 on the board. They've brought it back 2 within 1 match.
A beautiful attempt from the Monty there to go for the defuse, something you wouldn't really expect so soon. Like, you would expect him to just bait a bit, and I think that's exactly what the Mirror was expecting as well. That's why she took so long to actually go for an attempt to actually deny the defuse, and just maybe like a few milliseconds more time for the Monty, and he would have been able to fully get the plan down and extend his shield to cover himself, and then potentially the round could have ended very, very differently for the Mira. The good thing, of course, is another round win there for NightWolves, which is very desirable for them. It's a 3-2 score, and as we're now heading into round 6, it's just a question how this round will go. Will it go to NightWolves, or will it go to eWAVE? Will it be 4-2 or a 3-3 score? We'll be heading back to the Armory Throne bomb site, which we have seen 2 times before on the side of NightWolve. Not a single time they were able to successfully defend it, but as they have now clearly woken up, they might just be a bit more successful this 3rd attempt.
For sure. We just have to wait and see. Obviously, if NightWolve are able to get 3rd round on the board here,
10 seconds left before
then
insertion.
honestly, it doesn't look too bad for them, especially as, you know, there is a real possibility to get a 4-2 defending half.
Attackers are heading out
So,
to use a bomb.
yeah, getting this 3rd round is, it's not necessarily must win for eWAVE because they can defend. I mean, they had a couple dodgy moments yesterday, but they certainly proved that they are very capable of it. So, by no means a must-win round, but for NightWolve it would be a massive boon to get this round number 6 on the board.
It certainly would be, and a 3-3 score is always very cool to see. It's very interesting to see very close matches. It really seemed to start off like where it was absolutely going to be a match for eWAVE, as they were starting so dominantly with a 3-0 score. But I'm so happy to see that NightWolves is just fighting back to make the match more interesting. This also raises my hopes to see all 3 maps today, of course. This is only the first map, so things still need to happen before we even reach that point. But still, the possibility seems a bit more likely right now. Clearly, the community was voting for a very one-sided match for eWAVE, but for so far, NightWolves trying to prove the other way by at least doing a bit better than expected.
How on earth has Bankers messed that one up? That's unfortunate.
That's
Tried to go for the run out, but Rizraz somehow manages to stay alive throughout all that chaos. So Drone does get caught out, but now Bankers is in a very tough position here inside of Lab, and this is that aggression that was caught out and punished last time. However, the Montaigne being caught out and found by Blacklist up on the top floor is going to make this a lot more difficult for eWAVE. Ventix does have the diffuser, so it's not like they've lost anything to do with the plant. However, it is good execute utility to have that Montaigne shield. Bankers finds one, Ventix trades. Now, still player advantage for NightWolve, and this third round that they so have been wanting might just come in favor as utility cleared, positions gained, and intel gained as well, gathered onto the bomb site, all the vertical angles and drones coming through.
It's now a 3 versus 5 situation where now the ace chargers are finally coming out to open those hatches that are hedges and walls that are so needed to be able to put more pressure on the bomb site itself and to finally be able to enter a bit more easily. There's only 2 doors to the bomb site. I mean, if you can split as 2, then there's 3, but still, it's very difficult to enter the bomb site without any of those walls or hedges being opened. And as those are open, things are a bit more possible for the attacking team, but as Phantom finds Sakuri, it's a 2 versus 4 situation, with only then also Phantom is getting taken out by Shanks. Dex, however, getting kill Phantom and then getting taken out by Blacklist, removing the last remaining attacker. Meaning this is a defensive round win for NightWolves, putting the score on an even 3-3, which will now head into the round top, where eWAVE will now be playing as the defending team, and NightWolve will be playing as the attacking team.
It was a bit of a desperate play there from Scurry just to drop the hatch without any support, and well, we saw how well that worked out. Like you said, 3-3 as the side switch comes through, and well, that could be lifeline for NightWolve. We've seen how well the attack can do on this site, so let's just let's see how well it works out for eWAVE, because they're all coming in on their defense. They had a bit of practice on this map yesterday, a bit of practice on the defense, and we saw the Capcan actually work out quite well. We saw a few picks coming through and from both sides, and I think the Capcan, especially on this site, is one that you can actually use to great effect.
Yes, it's now up to eWAVE to go for the defense here. Their opponent had 3 attempts, only managed to win 1. The question is, will eWAVE be able to win a bit more sooner with the first attempt, or will they also struggle to get a round win on this bomb site? As a bomb site is always very interesting. Either goes very well, the walls stay closed, and you can have to watch a few doors from where the attackers can come from. But it's clearly eWAVE having some different plans. Some walls are being opened, there's an extension happening towards Barrel, which is certainly an interesting thing to point out, which does provide some weakness towards the bomb side, but also provides some extra rotation options for the defensive sides and an extension to play from a bit further from the bomb side, which can be very useful. Meanwhile, also Banko's getting a very quick entry, but no, Scurry as the Capcan is just getting that first kill, taking out the first attacking player, the very aggressive Amaru. Amaru on the side of NightWolves, not lasting as long as on the side of eWAVE, as he gets taken out as the first player.
Well, not a good start for NightWolf, as sort of entry into the map gets taken down pretty easily. So Scurry only lost about 40 HP all told, if not less. So can just dip away, make themselves a bit more useful underneath inside a drug lab. And for NightWolf, this could actually kind of be pretty bad. I don't actually know whether Bankers had hard breach or flashbangs in hand. I think it was going to be flashbangs indeed, looking up at the overlay. Indeed it was. They do know the position of the Capcan, but as the entrance tries to come through, there's just more damage going the way of eWAVE, especially as Ventix finds one. Blacklist does finally get the collection onto the Capcan inside a storage. There is still Dex to worry about inside of the lab.
Yeah, Dex being very successful at wasting time on the attack. As long as he's stuck here, he's in a very strong position, making it very difficult for the attacking team to take control over yellow stairs, but also over Barrel, where there's of course the rotation towards the bomb side, which is a key point for the attackers to take. And as Dex finds Phantom, it's now a 4 versus 3. But as he also finds, sorry, 4 versus 2, but as he also finds Blacklist, it's all coming out of Geeks. He's just left all alone. He's very low HP, but does manage to take a Dex, but it's still left with 3 versus 1 with about 5 to 10 HP remaining, which is very little. Just 1 bullet will take him out. Also 3 smoke canisters still in play, and as then Dipsy managed to hit 1 shot, he gets taken out. And this is then a defensive win for the side of eWAVE, finally winning another map after another round, as after losing 3 in a row, putting a score on 4-3.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of difficulty to clear out Dex inside a lab. That hold that didn't really work out has actually now turned into their favor. win the first defense, they now move on to bunk and daycare up on that top floor of the map.
Defenders,
And
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
this one plays out quite differently. The site is actually pretty open already. You'll see the defense open it up a bit more. You're looking at that rotation in towards cafeteria. There'll just be various lines of sight opened up as well, as you can see also on the bottom of your screen. And there should be a cross-site rotation coming through in just a second, also maybe a couple free holes, should eWAVE choose. And there's a lot being opened up, a lot of movement options for the defense, which, excuse me, means that they should be able to have very fluid control of the map. They have pushed pretty much all the way into initiation and office just to make sure that the attack takes as long as possible.
Yeah, it's a very extensive setup from the defending team, eWAVE, which is going to be very interesting. There's currently, one of the attackers I want to point out is the 0-1 that we don't see too often, but which can be very useful. Personally, I even prefer to use him over like a Nomad, as you will have, like, once he places his camps, there will be usually someone like dedicated to watch those flanks, which is much more valuable than a Nomad. In this case, NightWolve's actually decided to take both, which is totally fine. And a very strong flank watch this will be. We'll see how this goes. Of course, also Zero does have the additional feature where he can actually destroy some kind of utility using his one laser or taser. There's a laser charge. I'm saying that right? Is the laser or taser charge officially?
I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily the most important distinction to make. However, we are seeing two Selmas being shot out by the I believe that could be Ventix up on the arcade balcony, and indeed it is. He just has to dip away as the shots come through, as Rizraz finds the first, taking out Peaks. That's your Nomad going down. I don't know how many air jabs he was able to find, but the entry gets punished as well as all the kills flurry through. It's a 4 versus 2 within the first half of the round. Bankers and Phantom now have to try and pick up the slack. They've got 2 kills on average for each of them if they want to win this round. Get it across the board. The Fuser is still in pocket, and there is a first from Phantom. Taking out Scurry, bit of just a wander into the line of sight, but Ventix does find a response, meaning that Phantom has to do this all on his own. And with a minute left to go, there certainly is enough time, but I just don't think it'll be enough. You rarely see 3 versus 1s being won by the disadvantaged side.
Yeah, it's Phantom who is the only one left. He is going for a rotation, which could certainly help him. Coming from a different area could be a little bit unexpected, as they don't necessarily know exactly where he is. But even though, then still Ventix is aiming perfectly in the right direction, even doing a little bit of damage. And now it's Phantom just trying to make his way into Cafe. His position is known, they know exactly where it's coming from. There's plenty of utility pointing in his direction, which will make it very difficult for him to make his entry. As he's getting closer, he's getting in contact with various defenders. Does do a lot of damage on the Wamai, but unfortunately not enough, as it's kind of a trade. Wamai didn't get taken out, but he did get injured, and he's also the one getting the final kill right here. Meaning there's another round win there for the defensive side. eWAVE adding a second for the defense, putting the score on 5-3.
It's an interesting decision from eWAVE even not to see an office initiation coming through, instead opting to go for the pick onto lab storage instead. It's not often seen by the defense. It's usually that sort of 4th pick. We rarely even see it at all, in fact. But eWAVE, they seem to do pretty well when it comes to defending here. We saw them take 1 out of 1 wins yesterday. So by all means, it very much could work out. And it also comes down to NightWolve. If, Theme Park not necessarily the most common map to see, and if you're dealing with a very uncommon site on an uncommon map, it generally means that you don't have a lot of practice on attacking it. So maybe this could be eWAVE catching NightWolve off guard.
Yeah, this could certainly work. This is definitely the least picked bomb site on this map. So this could really work. Also then the frost traps coming out, and both the Kapkan and the frost. If you already have a bomb site that you're not very familiar with on the attack, you will need a lot of time to just figure out on how to attack it, and then there's not going to be too much time left to watch for any such of utility like a frost trap or a capture trap. So potentially we will see effects coming from those. But then there's also the Monty, of course, playing here, who can be very effective in clearing these kind of bomb sites, as he will be able to guide his team into safety and block some of the paths and just scout ahead a little bit more. Currently, a lot of drone work happening from the NightWolve side. Just looking for the first bit of information for the first way in. Blackness being one of those first, making a punch hole to watch this long hallway all the way towards the bathroom door, which is a very high traffic area. But currently, no one playing there. I think the nearest player currently is towards the yellow stairs area, and one here in armory. Sorry. So that's those are the ones that the attacker needs to be careful of. Meanwhile, on the top floor, also various defenders playing. Also for those who need to be very careful.
Yeah, the vertical control, very useful when it comes to attacking and defending on this bomb site, as it's going to be Scurry finding the first there. And there comes that vertical pressure that we said would be very impactful. The Malusi finds that pick, 10 kills in the game from Scurry. It was a very hot start, cooled off a little bit, as it turns out, but still doing very well when it comes to the fragging department. Bankers, though, does find that refrag, which makes it 4 versus 4. And this is a good change that we're seeing from NightWolve. They're actually not letting it get to that 5 versus 3. They are taking the initiative to find the response early, not letting it get out of hand. However, they are going to need to be aware of all of the vertical positions as the Montaigne starts to push through. The shots ring out from the SMG-11. That's just going to mean it has to dip away. There is no way of pushing through here while the defense is still holding up above.
The defense certainly being very strong with all the verticality that has been created. Multiple angles have been made. Unfortunately, Dipsy not being able to benefit from those as he misses his shots. Another C4 coming out, just potentially create some more verticality, which will create new lines of sight. But also the balcony does provide some options to look downwards.
Oh,
and actually
no,
a frost trap going up.
Oh,
being able to finish it, but the wristband's also getting killed. Shanks. Just 2 attackers remaining. The Bankers and Phantom just left, but as Bankers gets injured and gets taken out, it's all coming out of Phantom in this 3 versus 1 situation. Extremely low on HP, just waiting for any defender to expose himself and to take it so he can take it out easily. Does find Dipsy, but then still Dex playing up top, getting the kill there on Phantom. Bringing things once more to the defensive side, and that's 3 rounds in a row for eWAVE, putting them on 6-3 map point.
Well, if we just have a look at the scoreboard, we've seen 3 rounds for eWAVE, 3 rounds for NightWolve, 3 rounds for eWAVE. So my question is, do we come back to overtime? Do we complete the pattern, the trend?
Yeah, it's something we that we did see quite often. Yeah, it's just really like, I mean, I was about to say it's really going to depend on the upcoming round, but yeah, of course it is, because if it actually does win the upcoming round, this map is over. Yeah, I mean, it would be certainly very cool to see. I would love to see a overtime happen on 6-6 score, but at the same time, I can imagine that this match is being quite heavy on the side of NightWolve. eWAVE winning the first 3, then finally for NightWolve being able to fight back, bringing things to a 3-3 score. But then eWAVE again fighting back, just not having any of it on the side of NightWolve, which is not allowing them to build further onto the 3-round win streak, and just giving another 3-round win streak on the side of eWAVE. I can imagine that's quite tough on the side of NightWolve.
Well, as we come down to it, eWAVE, like you said, if they win this round, the map goes to them. Obviously, it is their own pick. So you do kind of expect them to be coming into this winning the map. But for NightWolve, I think maybe, especially if you're a NightWolve fan, you want to see them having a bit of a better performance on this pick. Obviously, it is rather uncommon. So maybe they just didn't expect eWAVE to actually come here. Obviously, it was only played the first time in playoffs yesterday, and, well, eWAVE lost it. So yeah, maybe you think they don't come here, but catch you off guard, and, well, here we are. Obviously, I don't want to speak for the teams too much. I'm just, speculating live on air for anyone to see and tell me that I'm wrong. So please do that.
Yeah, currently there's a lot of scouting happening on the side of the attacking team, NightWolves, just scouting the entire top floor. Lots of utility also being found. Various Capricorn traps having placed in the area, but there's not a single defender to be found. Meaning every single defender is currently playing downstairs, and I think by now the attacking team will be quite aware of this. This is why the Buck is now using his underbarrel shotgun, the skeleton key, quite a lot, creating lots of verticality to make it very difficult to play on site. But at the same time, there's defenders spread out throughout the entire bottom floor, even three towards bathroom and drug labs, drug storage area, with only 2 on the bomb site so far. But even though they might be able to put a lot of pressure on the bomb site itself, it's not everything because there's not too many people there. If the Ashen River does manage to make a way inside, you could go for a very interesting situation, which makes it very difficult for the defenders to retake the bomb site if she does get the control. But at the same time, the defender of the attackers need to be very careful of those defenders on the northwestern side of the map, we can easily retake things or flank you.
Yeah, this shield is just going to be a bit of a stronghold for Dipsy on the other side. He's going to take the swing, but no shots ring true either side of it. The Scurry finds a first, taking out Shanks, and again, we're seeing eWAVE start off with this advantage, and NightWolve, they need to try and find a response, possibly even get that player advantage before they're able to go for the execute. But as things stand, with only 45 seconds left in the round, it's not looking likely. It seems like this map might just be over as it comes down to it. As Keeks finds a kill onto Dex, actually finding that answer back, although on very low HP, on about 1 single point of health. Even just breathing near him will be enough to take him down. And out and Blacklist with a team kill onto Bankers, and that might just be the nail in the coffin. As Ventix and Scurry find one, it's Oregon calling, and eWAVE pick up the phone. We are going to that second map as they take it here, 7 rounds to 3.
Yeah, that's a 7-3 win here for eWAVE. A map that started very much in the favor, then NightWolves fighting back, but unfortunately here it's eWAVE closing things with a 7-3 score after they managed to win another 4 rounds in a row in total. So that's the first map being done right here. Right down here, you can see a 7-3 score for eWAVE, and for taking their first map point. It was their own pick map, so that's certainly working in their advantage. But the next map is going to be Oregon. I can imagine that a team like eWAVE will also be able to perform fairly well on a map like Oregon, as it's such a common map and such a commonly played map.
Yeah.
I can imagine that also, yeah, like eWAVE will stand a pretty good chance there. But at the same time, it's NightWolve's pick. They picked it for a reason. So we should hopefully see some better performance from NightWolve there. Even though 7-3 is not too bad on Team Park, but I'm certainly hoping that we can at least see NightWolve get a bit closer or even potentially winning the map, after which we'll then be able to go to
not
a
single
third
attack
map.
though, right? That's a bit...
Uh,
it's not ideal, especially on a map that actually has statistically shown to be quite attacker-sided in the past in this league. Not even able to find one. It's a little bit worrying, but you know, heading into Oregon, like you're saying, it hopefully should be a bit more of an orthodox pick where NightWolve should feel a bit more comfortable and maybe take us to Villa.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I would love to see 3 maps. Something we have not seen too much yet. Although for the past match that we had, we did see quite a bit of 2-3s, 2-1 scores or 1-2 scores. But still, it's the majority of the matches are being 2-0s or 0-2s. So it'll be very cool to see all 3 maps. Yeah, basically before we go into Oregon, we're just gonna have a little break right here. Let's say about 5 minutes or so. And then we'll be back with the next map, Oregon. So stay tight, just grab a drink or snack or anything, go to the toilet, and then we'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're back with the second map for today, Oregon. We just saw the beautiful first map, Team Park, which was a 7-3 score for eWAVE. Things started out very well for eWAVE. They started with a 3-0 score. Then NightWolves was finally able to fight back, scored another 3 points, but that's basically all we saw from NightWolves. Because after that, they lost a total of 4 rounds in a row, putting the score on 7-3, and therefore eWAVE winning that first map point, putting that on match point or series points. So yeah, we'll be heading in the next into the next map anytime soon. Oregon. We already talked briefly about it just right after the Team Park. It's a pick from NightWolves, which certainly should mean something. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to be enough for NightWolve, given the fact, yeah, 7-3. It's not it's not a terrible score for Team Park, but it's not ideal either. And you're also saying NightWolve is starting on the attack as well on Oregon.
Yes.
So yeah,
didn't
what
win
to
an
expect.
attack on Theme Park, so eep.
The attack was not going very well in Team Park either, no, for sure. And also given the prediction of the community, like clearly a lot of people siding with eWAVE here. I didn't even check the prediction in Twitch. Let me just quickly see what actually the result was there. It was also the majority voted for eWAVE as well. So in both fronts, both Twitter and Twitch, people are siding with eWAVE here. And especially given the first map, eWAVE is clearly doing very well. We did see them play as well yesterday, so maybe they're also a bit more informed than NightWolve, as they had a very good. They have had a very good practice yesterday already. But at the same time, NightWolve could have studied them. I'm not sure whether they did. I hope they do, because I would love to hear a bit more, like see a bit more of the teams here in the Twitch chats, just watching their opponents, just trying to scout some of those tactics that they use to hopefully use it against them in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next map is going to be Oregon. It's just a matter of seconds before we can actually start with this map. This could be it for NightWolve, because like we already said before, right now we're in the lower brackets. So if you lose, you will be out of the competition.
Yeah,
something that neither of these teams, of course, want to happen. Currently NightWolve in the very dangerous position, being behind on map points, which is not a good thing. They of course really want to win this Oregon map to bring this match to Villa, where they will have a final chance, where it will be a 1-1 score, where Villa that will be the decider map. But for now, of course, eWAVE being in a very good position, which will certainly be of good motivation to them. Just waiting for the members to be ready here. I believe there's still a few NightWolve members needing to join the hand cams again before we can actually start this match, because of course it's very important on the side of ESA that matches are fair and square, so therefore all members are required to join hand cams so we can actually see and make sure they're playing with a controller, because even though Mousetrap is out there, it's good technically. It's not, we're not 100% sure yet whether it's 100% waterproof. So for that reason, we're still sticking with those hand cams, and we will be keeping an eye on the effect of Mousetrap. But for now, we will have the hand cams still active. So let me just quickly ask whether they can join soon, so we can hopefully start the match anytime.
Sorry, what was that?
Just quickly gonna message them so they can actually hopefully join the hand cam, so we can actually start this map.
Okay. So looking at Oregon, I'm actually just going to take a quick peek. Obviously, it should be a pretty good map for both teams. You expect, especially getting into the top 12 of the competition, that you should be able to play on maps like Oregon pretty well. So just looking at the playoffs so far, NightWolve did lose Oregon 7-0 to Tracker, but they were obviously in a 4 versus 5 in that instance. So not necessarily the worst, and we haven't seen it in the playoffs from them after that. And we haven't seen Oregon at all in playoffs from eWAVE. So I'm just going to have a quick nosy through the groups as well while we wait for the players to get in the lobby. Or not in the lobby, in the hand cams, I suppose. Okay, so immediate 7-5 loss to Misclick, but then they topped the group. They kind of beat everybody. So you kind of expect that. 7-4 win on Theme Park against Eagle Empire. So they're definitely confident on that map as well. 7-5 loss to Entropy as well from eWAVE. That was on Oregon. So Oregon not necessarily looking like the best map for eWAVE so far. I'm just going to look at NightWolve and see how their record is as we head into the map now. It will be the operator ban phase. Okay, 7-0 against Odessa from NightWolve. So that's already a good start. I think Odessa did make it into playoffs as well. That's a pretty good. And then 7-3 against MVG Germany, who also in playoffs. So Oregon, good map for NightWolves. Not necessarily the best for eWAVE. So coming into this, we might just see map 3 after all.
Yeah, there might be some hope for NightWolve then after all, and that's certainly what they are hoping for as well. Again, we're seeing Nock being banned as the first operator, first attacker to be banned for the remainder of this map. Nothing too out of ordinary as we do see her very often,
Yeah.
like we've already said so many times. So Nock is not going to be played, very strong operator, but not present today it seems. Followed by Oza. Hey, Oza we don't see that often, but it's a very strong operator, and I think on the map of Oregon, like Oza, where do we see her often? I mean, we see her often like
Meeting.
Sorry,
Meeting. If you want to plant on the stage, also quite often
yeah,
being played there. So, often see her when attacking onto dining as well. Just planting inside of the breach, and top floor as well. She can be quite useful, and also maybe pushing bunker if there's a basement defense. I mean, not necessarily too sure about that one, but you could make an argument for it.
Yeah, that's so. Also, we will not see her for this map here. It's followed by Malusi, very annoying operator, but not as strong as she once used to be, as a Gadget can easily be shut out when you enter a certain proximity. And this is followed by a Solus, which we again sadly not gonna see. It's a beautiful and strong operator, and yeah, strong. That's probably also one of the reasons that we do see her banned so often. And as Shinji is actually leaving the match, I'm just quickly gonna pause just to be sure, because I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Might be a little issue on his side or with the match. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just quickly gonna ask what's going on here.
Okay, so yeah, obviously looking at the defensive bans, then Malusi, like you mentioned, not necessarily as strong as she once used to be, but especially thinking back to when she had the Nitro cell, she had the T5, the gadget was fully bulletproof. It's very, very difficult. However, it is still information that is being sent across to the defense. So
yeah,
it is still rather irritating utility, and obviously Solus. We said it. We said it many times. Just an overall nuisance.
Yeah, like I've already seen so many beautiful moments where Solus was just playing on even a different level of the map, where you can just easily scout utility, and like we're already so used to IQ being an attacker. We're just not as used yet to also Solus being kind of like a Q on the defense. So it's a bit sad that we see her being banned so often. But yeah, just unfortunate that we're just seeing, that we don't get to see her as much. Meanwhile, I've heard from the players of NightWolve that unfortunately one of the player internet has unfortunately dropped out. So for this reason, we will keep the match on pause for a little longer, and we're just praying that the player will be able to rejoin, because otherwise we will unfortunately need to do a rehost. So let's just hope that's not the case. Let's just hope we will be able to rejoin. Yeah, we can actually do that. That will be a good thing. Let me just bring those up in a small moment.
Yeah, you get to see our beautiful faces yet again, and here we are. Hello.
So, yeah, it's certainly much more interesting to see any gameplay, right? I mean,
but at least there's something moving on the screen, right? We hands.
With a move, yes, this is certainly much more interesting compared to a pause screen. So, so I was just waiting for the members to join in. We're just gonna quickly talk again. So we just now know that we're on Oregon. It's currently eWAVE on the defense, Team Blue, who's gonna play on Laundry Supply Room. Just waiting for the attackers to join, the last attacker to join in before we can start. But with Oza ban, the bans.
There's not much to analyze at this point, is there?
There's not
we
too
haven't
much.
Even seen a round.
No, but we're just quickly looking on like the operator bans and like how much they could really impact potentially this bomb site. Like they're commonly picked on this bomb site, both on the attack of defense, but not necessarily crucial. So in terms of operator bans that we do know by now, there's nothing too much that will disrupt the defense or the attack, but let me just quickly check whether we're joining, and otherwise we're just gonna quickly jump to like a rehost screen, because this is taking a bit longer than we were expecting. Well, let me just quickly bring this to the rehost map, and then hopefully we don't need the rehost, but let's just hope that we can resume this match very soon. So quick break. I'll be back soon. Bye-bye. And there we go. We're finally back after a little rehost. Unfortunately, the player who lost internet connection wasn't able to rejoin the match. For that reason, we needed to restart the lobby and restart things. Of course, operator bans already being done. I'm not entirely 100% sure whether they're still in the right order shown there. But either way, these are the banned operators. And just like in the previous attempts to start this match, we're starting with the same locked-in bomb site, which is laundry supply room, with eWAVE currently on the defense.
I think Nock and Ossa are just flipped, but apart from that, they are in the right order.
Yeah,
so,
right?
Yeah, so just Nock and Ossa flipped around, but the defenders are correct. You do have it being Malusi that being banned out by NightWolve, Solace being taken away by eWAVE.
Right.
Like we said before, the rehost, we are going to the basement site with eWAVE on the defense. We're seeing a Go-Yo being brought along, as well as a Warden and Smoke. So it seems to be quite, well, just from this lineup, it seems like there's going to be quite a focus on defending that blue bunker. Obviously, holding down into elbow with the shield of the Smoke. It's quite a difficult position for an attacker to clear, which means that, yeah, it's kind of perfect if you kind of want to defend this. However, it seems like NightWolve might have different plans. Already opening up through the main door, they might try and go for some sort of laundry push here. Obviously, it is very early on. They can call that execute in the later parts of the round, but right now it is actually Blacklist to find the first.
Yeah, that's the very first opening kill, and like you're saying, indeed something's point like the attackers are going for a very aggressive push towards the laundry stairs. Also, Ying being brought, but not actually heading towards the meeting, which is very interesting. I don't think there's any roamer left remaining at the moment. No, they actually already have cleared every single roamer. There was only one, which was Ventix the Jaeger. It's just a matter of seconds before the attackers actually know about this, and they will be starting putting pressure on the bottom floor. If they will start this soon, this will be a very, very quick clear for them, which will leave them with lots of time to actually put pressure on the bomb site itself. They of course have some harsh breaching utility. The Ying already used both of them to probably open up some of the hatches, but also Ace you can still breach on a distance, which can be very strong as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We start to see a bit of a focus from the attack on towards this sort of bunker and E-box side, as Blacklist finds a second over by those back stairs, taking out Dex and Ventix now inside of this round as Candela's come through. Bankers drops the hatch, and Skype is taken out immediately by Scurry. So no more Candelas to come through. The Toxic Babes ring out as Dipsy finds another kill as well. That's Diffuser down. The Shinji finds a response. Dipsy, though, doubles down, finding a second in the round. And Scurry can't find that kill. Dipsy with 3, trying to make it 4 as a push up onto Blacklist and finds it. eWAVE with a very first round, as it's another 1 versus 2 coming through from this side.
Yeah, such a strong flank from the Womai, just flanking on blue. Finding the player with the diffuser, the Ace, taking him out, and then the diffuser is on the floor. A very tough position for the attacking team to be in. And luckily, the Bomai managed to turn things towards his team, eWAVE, putting the first point on the name, putting the score on 1-0. So now for the second round, we'll be heading towards the top floor, which is the Kids Dorm's main hall bomb site. A very logical second choice, as they have now won their first defensive bomb site. I need to go to a different one. The other bomb sites, of course, are kitchen, dining, kitchen, meeting. Very popular bomb sites as well, very much playable. And yeah, that basically makes Oregon's one of those maps where every single bomb site is very decent to be played on. We do see them commonly all being played, which we can't say for every single map. We did see Living Room on Villa yesterday, right?
Yes, yeah, we did. It didn't work out.
No.
But yeah, honestly, you do say that every side is playable, and we don't tend to see dining that much. It's just meeting does tend to be just an objectively better site, but either way, the top floor and the basement are definitely more favorable than those ground floor bomb sites for the defenders, because the ground floor is just a much better place to attack on. So you're going to see those ones being played less often. The primary and secondary of the basement and top floor are going to come through, as well as Attic opened up very, very quickly by the side of NightWolve, getting this opened up in very quick time. And That's going to provide lines of sight in towards Attic, because now Big Tower fully under the control. Air jab down below as well is going to mean that the flank option is not there. Dipsy does try to go for a C4, takes a hefty chunk of damage out of Shinji's HP bar, but that's about it. Has to just dip away through the basement, try and relocate with the rest of the defenders.
Yeah, with the attackers now having control of the northern side, it's now up to them to also get control of the southern side of the map. Meanwhile, Rizwas with the first kill on Shanks. That's a nomad of the board. I think she already plays at least 2 of her air jabs, so that's not too unfortunate, but still it's 1 man loss, which is not a good thing. Meanwhile, then Blacklist with the kill on Dax, evening things out by taking out the Azami, sorry, no, that was what I was saying. But either way, Blacklist with the kill there on Dipsy is now 3 versus 3 situation, as Venix also gets a kill there on Bankos. Leaving things in a 3 versus 3 situation, with Sakuri being very low in HP and playing very close to one of the members playing inside of Attic at the moment. Diana just standing right around the corner, but Richard with the kill on Phantom. A 3-2 with still 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining.
User has been dropped.
Yeah, as the push starts to come through, Shinji taking the swing, finds the first onto Rizraz, second onto Scurry as well. Now it's just Ventix left in the 1 versus 2. The second one of these situations that we're seeing for the defense. However, this time it's a little less chaotic, a little more solidified, as Ventix, no C4 in pocket, has to just use the shotgun to open up that side, and the pings actually come through. He's not able to get the shots off before the plant goes down, and now they're going to know where this push is coming from. This top blue position is just going to be pretty much unwinnable as he pushes through Shinji. 3 or 4 on the round there, I believe, and that's NightWolve with their first. They tie us up 1-1.
Such a close shot there with the shotgun from below, almost hitting the player who was going for the defuse, and that could have certainly be very useful for the mutes, but unfortunately he didn't manage to. And also finding himself on top of the white stairs with the laser gate, even giving away his position. Yeah, like you said, an unwinnable position, which in the end didn't happen. But hey, that's NightWolves with getting a point, the first point for this map as well. So therefore, the score is now 1-1. Things are starting out way closer compared to the first map, where things started out with a 3-0 for eWAVE. So this is, yeah, you could already call this an improvement for NightWolf, which is something they do need since they're already down 1 map point, and eWAVE is just therefore on series points. So therefore, it's a good thing for NightWolf to start out like this.
So back up to the top floor then, eWAVE, it seems, as we could go for something slightly different. We're seeing Dex bring along a Frost in tow, and Warden as well for Rizraz. It's a very different type of push, type of approach even from the defenders, as Ventix again holding down below on the mute, just going to use C4s and the shotgun underneath just to try and deny some of that. For the attack, it doesn't look like any of their approach is going to change. We've still got the 3 players going into the big tower. This time though, Shinji is just clearing onto that top floor, as the Ledger Claw is going to come through. Does find one of those hard breach charges, but not the second. So there is still the vault hole, but no crouch hole that's hidden from Attic, which is going to be quite helpful for the defenders to be able to have a clear line of sight on the entrance into that Attic.
Yeah, but Attic now open up, they do have the new option. The guy just barely making his way out in time, just saving his life, just now finally rotating back towards the bomb site, through all the way through the basement, up from the white stairs, and just in time to place his second electric claw on the wall of walking closets, so that he can deny the breach from Phantom, who has relocated himself towards that position. Meanwhile, the first Yinkanderas are coming out, likely to clear the Attic area of any defenders playing there. So soon the attackers will start making their way into that area to make even further, put further pressure onto the bomb site.
So half the round fallen by the wayside. No players being picked off yet, although as I say that, it's probably bound to happen. Actually, no, doesn't come through, as just the breach being opened up onto that closet wall by the ace of Phantom, as Attic now firmly in the control of this attack as Candela starts to come through. Dex tucked in on this close position, but it's actually going to be the shots that find Shinji first of all. Blacklist going down below. Rizraz finally collects and finds a second for his trouble. Taken out by Shanks though, as Phantom as well goes for that kill. Blacklist from behind and below finds that flank, and now it's 3 versus 3 on the bomb site. 60 seconds left to go as they have now found the pressure. Dexo swings, finds their first of the round, can't get the swing behind as it's actually shanked from the attic door. And now the defenders need to retake, need to re-aggress as they are both on this white stairs position. No C4s for them and only long angles with this SMG-11 for Ventix. Maybe possibly going to use a shotgun open out on that top white, but no. Shanks finds the first from this one angle prone. It's a triple kill. Not going to be a quad though, as Ventix finds it with the SMG-11. The knife is going to give away the position though on those top white stairs. Not quite able to go behind the corner in time, just catching the elbow. NightWolve, they find 2 as eWAVE not able to get the defense on that top floor. They are going to be able to head down to the basement again, but 2 very clean and very good attacks from NightWolve.
Yeah, certainly, and this also puts them in the lead for the first time. Like not even in the previous map, which was Team Park. They had never been in the lead. It was either, they were either behind or on an even score, which was the 3-3. But they haven't been in the lead a single time. So, like I already said, NightWolve was clearly doing better. This was their map pick, so that's also kind of expected of them at the same time. But it's also a very good thing to see, as they do need it up to this moment. So very happy to see that it's a 1-2 score right now. We're now heading back to the basement, which was won by eWAVE before. So if they just do just as good, they might be able to just win it one more time. But at the same time, NightWolve did get the first taste of his defense and kind of knows what to expect.
Well, yeah, and it was a 1 versus 2 4K from Dipsy as well in that first round to actually get it across the board. We could very well be seeing 3 rounds for NightWolve here.
5 seconds to go.
However, Blacklist just not quite able to get that 1 versus 1.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Yeah, that's the only round eWAVE have here on Oregon for, you know, a map that's kind of treated them badly in the past. We could just be seeing that way again. 7-5 to Misclick, 7-5 to Entropy, both not going the way of eWAVE. And NightWolve, long history with winning on Oregon. So, again, trends predict the future. Seems to be coming through, though. NightWolve are looking to have this push. They're clearing very much from the top floor, make sure that there are absolutely 0 roamers before they go for that execute. They need to be aware of Ventix on side of the big tower, just looking through the stairs with an angle onto green. And it's probably going to be where the main issue comes through, as Bankers finds one onto the Legion of Dex. That's just going to be some more information sent their way, and Ventix still just holding on to green is going to decide to aggress up, as actually I think that's going to be fire from the Goyo. Actually no, it's the Goo Mine instead that takes a little bit of damage onto Blacklist. He just has to take that out before progressing forward down Freezer yet again. The Phantom, I think, might just be aware that Ventix is playing in and around green. And if this swing is timed correctly, might just get caught out. Indeed does. Actually, Bankers finding the collection there. So half the round gone, and eWAVE again in that disadvantage.
Yeah, it's eWAVE indeed in the disadvantage as they lose their first members. Now 4 versus 5 situation with attackers having full top floor control, and they probably know this thanks to the Jackal, who is of course very effective on gathering information. I think most of the hatches have been opened by now as well, so they should have plenty of options to enter the bomb site from above. And all they can really do still is potentially open some other walls to make it a bit more difficult to play on site, which is Phantom, which is exactly what Phantom is doing at the moment. Meanwhile, we're seeing the Jackal relocate himself towards the bunker where he's getting in contact with Dex, doing a bit of damage. Goyokens is getting popped as well. Still making out his life. Blacklist gets a kill or wrist rest. It's a smoke off the board. So one operator you don't want to lose at this moment, as he probably still didn't have many of his cannons. Shanks with the kill on Dex, Scurry with the kill on Shanks, Shinji with the kill on Scurry, and just going on and off with just Dipsy all left alone. Getting taken out by Shinji, and that's another round there for NightWolve, putting them on the lead with a 1-3 score.
Yeah, 3 on the bounce for NightWolve as well. They look to get things going here on Oregon. It was a bit of a poor map 1 by all accounts for it, but coming here into Oregon revitalized, and they've already equaled their round count for that first map within 4 rounds. So, you know, certainly boding well for the future. Obviously, eWAVE still possibility to win 6 in a row here, and it, you know, with what we've seen from eWAVE, I definitely wouldn't put it past them as they head back down to this basement defense. It just seems like NightWolve just have more of an idea of how to play on Oregon than they did on Theme Park.
Sorry, I was just quickly distracted. There's apparently like a little sound bug which I'm trying to figure out what's exactly going wrong. So let me quickly check. I think the audio is mine again. Let me just quickly fix this.
Well, very similar sort of setup again from eWAVE. We're seeing the Kaid being brought through. We're seeing reinforcements into bunker. Rizraz not quite playing there yet. Just had to dip upstairs for a little second, but is going to be heading over. Dipsy just holding that position while Moore gets opened up onto the bomb site. But I'm assuming there should be a bit of a change of hands pretty soon. As again, similar strategy for NightWolve. Get the Jackal in early up on this top floor, clear the top floor, clear the ground floor, get down onto the basement and find a successful execute.
Yeah, again, the Jackal is going to be very, very important here, very useful here for the attacking side. Just making sure there's not a single roamer up to this moment. I think currently every single defender is playing downstairs as well. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time before the attackers actually find out there's not a single defender on the roam at the moment, which will be very useful for them. If they find out just in time, then they will be able to put a lot of pressure on the bomb site itself, as then this time will be working advantage. Sheng's just managing to cross the stairs where currently Rizraz was playing on those stairs. Just lucky to be not even getting a bit of damage there, because the things could have ended very differently. Meanwhile, Hibana also opening up the very first hatches, making it a bit more the bomb site's a bit more accessible, or at least the areas around it for the attacking team. And then soon we'll start putting more and more pressure onto the bomb sites, and also first people now descending those further stairs.
Yeah, Rizraz with some very early pre-fires nearly finds Blacklist, who just dips back up the stairs, does not want to fully commit to any sort of push just yet. So we still have hatches open, we still have them reinforced, reinforced even with the Kaid claws as well to assist. The electro claws just making sure that they can't really be opened unless you have an EMP or coming through, or at least clearing that utility from below. And it seems like that might just be one job that Bankers has to do. Is aware of Ventix playing around Shaiko as the go canisters do get popped. It's Dipsy who finds the first. Taking out Blacklist over on the opposite side, and now Shanks is kind of stuck inside a freezer with no assistance from their buddy behind. It's just going to be them, as Laundry as well seems to just be a bit of a hold off. And Scurry finds that kill as well. Ventix doubles down. Now only 2 players left alive for NightWolve. 30 seconds to get it done, and Phantom in a 1 versus 5. This looks like eWAVE getting their second on the board here, unless Phantom can pull off some heroics. Does find down onto Dex, but not confirmed. Rizraz makes it flawless, just absolutely decimating the NightWolve attack.
Yeah, it's eWAVE finally fighting back again. Still, there will be 1 point behind on their opponents, but still, it's at least a start to possibly make things even on a 3-3 score. Something similar we saw in Theme Park, where was also 3-3 splits during the first 6 rounds. So we'll see whether it's just a question whether we'll see the same thing for this map, or whether NightWolves will be going into the split with a 2-4 score. That's certainly something NightWolves would like to have, especially since they're already down 1 map points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, eWAVE could just very much win it. They got a taste of winning another round. So they're finally waking up again a bit after losing 3 rounds in a row. So this could potentially become another one for them.
Yeah, Oregon tends to be defender-sided as well throughout this league, so if NightWolve are able to get their 4th round here on the attack, it sets them up really well, actually, to find success here on Oregon, take it all the way to the map 3, which will be Villa, of course. However, you know, we saw them completely fail to get an attack on Theme Park, the side that was favoured in the league so far as well, so maybe it could just be excelling at the weaker side, but just completely falling apart when it actually comes down to where they should be favoured. However, again, a lot of that could also come down to eWAVE, just not entirely sure about that just yet. We'll have to see how the rest of this map plays out. We are seeing a Brava being brought along, possibly to counter the Mozzie of Dex, because, well, you do get into some quite fun
Speaking of the
Bomb
devil.
located by
Yep,
attackers.
you get some quite fun interaction between those two operators. Blacklist spots a Mozzie on the drone, finds a pre-fire too. Dex just has to dip away. 45 points of health to his name. And only 1 kill, 4 deaths. And are not necessarily be feeling the most confident, however, though. Dipsy does take down Shanks, and this off-angle inside of security is just going to be a spot of bother for Blacklist, as eWAVE starting to find their form, starting to find their stride. As Rizraz doubles down, finds another. This downstairs pressure not really working out. As the top floor clear, also failing as Ventix kills Blacklist over on the top floor. Phantom does find a response, but quickly shut down by Rizraz on the Warden. Now just Bankers in a 1 versus 4. Does find the first, but can't get it done. eWAVE bring us level 3 rounds to 3, and well, that momentum is just getting started. They're riding that wave, ironically enough.
That's a nice one. Yeah, it's indeed a 3-3 score now, so it's back to an equal score, just like we saw on Team Park.
Yeah.
And now the question is just how will things go on from here? Of course, we do have the roles up right now, meaning that eWolf will be playing as the attacking team and NightWolve will be playing as the defending team. And it's just a question of which team is going to be more successful on which side. Just something we cannot really tell until we see it. So far, you would expect the defense to be a bit more successful here. But for the first half of this round, the first 6 rounds, we didn't see that either. It was a 3-3, so both sides did just as well. But yeah, only time will tell how this will go for the upcoming 6 rounds.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we saw 3-3. We might just see another equal half. We might see eWAVE again winning 7-3 after transitioning onto the weaker side of the map. It's
10 seconds remaining.
all really
Attackers have discovered
just
the
a
location of
question
bomb.
that we have to find out the answer to just
5
by
seconds
watching
left.
the game here, Max. And while I'm liking the look of this attacking lineup from
Attackers
eWAVE,
are
although
moving to
it is
defuse
kind
the
of
bomb.
similar to what we saw from them from both teams actually on Theme Park, you know, bringing the Monty on Dipsy, you've got Ventix on the Amaru as well. Capital being brought along is also quite good, possibly going to be used to try and clear on to that elbow position would probably be my guess, but overall fairly balanced lineup, although 2 drones get taken out very early on.
Yeah, drones are very like a simple bit of utility that some people
Do
might
they
not
know
value.
what the site is? Because they're
Sorry?
just all going upstairs. I don't know. Yeah, okay, they spotted it now. I'm just a bit confused because they all seem to be like gearing up for a top floor execute, and it's like, you are completely on the wrong side of the map. Doesn't matter though, Dex taking out that Capital, not gonna find any use as the C4 comes through as well. Nearly finds some damage onto Dipsy, but just able to back away in time. Great opening pick for NightWolve.
Yeah, this would also be a very good distraction from NightWolves, as they are currently still being able to mask the position of Blacklist. I thought it was someone playing in Small Tower, so Shinji was currently playing there. Although the Monty seems to be aware of his position, is currently looking for him in the shower, and in the end he does find him. I don't know whether any team member available to assist him. Yeah, the Capital is on his way, so as the Monty, he needs to, sorry, it's the Amaru on the way. He needs to last as long as he can, because he's in a very tough position in a 1 versus 1 situation right here between these 2 members. And you know, actually the Jaeger finding the Monty as he extends something he shouldn't do, because his teammates were on the way. Both Security and Ventix were very close to help out the Monty. All he needed to do was just stay alive and stay behind his shields. But no, unfortunately, he did choose to expose himself, and it didn't go well, unfortunately. So right now, a 3 versus 4 situation, which is Ventix, Rizraz, and Security alive versus 4 defending players.
Yeah, great patience there shown by Shinji just to try and wait until the Montaigne just drops their shield, waits for the right time, and well, it works wonders for the defense of NightWolve as the timer starts to tick down even more. They just look to change that area of approach, putting some pressure and focus on towards that bunker as the upstairs rotation comes through as well, probably looking towards Big Tower. The drone does spot out the mute on that right-hand side, but does just opt to try and go for the open of the barricade, and it's going to be to their ill advice because C4 comes through from Bankers, 2 versus 4 now. Blacklist taken low, but as the timer starts to tick down, it's going to become even more difficult for the attack to try and find anything here. Bankers with 1 and 2 in the final moments. Shotgun comes out, and that is going to be NightWolve with their very next round. 4 rounds to 3, they take back that lead.
Yeah, after they lost a total of 2 rounds in a row, they're finally retaking the lead, which they just lost. It's now a 3-4 score, where they will now go for the second defensive round on a different bomb site. Again, this is Kids Dorms, a very logical choice and often a second choice for most teams, so therefore it's very understandable. We're seeing Capcom being brought out against like operator that we have been
Defenders,
seeing
protect your
quite a
bombs
lot
from
these
being defeated
days,
by attackers.
followed by some other very useful operators on the bomb site like this one.
So, Mossy again. I'm surprised with how much we're seeing Mossy actually.
We do.
Especially from Blacklist though. I want to point that out, Blacklist has been playing Mossy a lot.
Yeah, like I was also quickly
I guess
checking
it's
his
just a
ban
comfort
rates.
thing.
Sorry?
I guess it's just a comfort thing maybe, you know, it's a pretty good gun, so that could be a part of it.
Yeah, I was just wondering the same thing. Like his ban rate is not too high. He's been banned 12 times before, which brings his percentage to about, I believe, 11.5%. So he's not being banned too often, but he's being brought along quite often. And so far, we have been seeing Mozzie being quite effective in terms of denying information, not necessarily gathering information himself. I haven't seen it too much yet during the season. But still, not allowing attackers to just fully drone is just very, very devastating. Meanwhile, Bank is just playing here small tower and actually finding Dex already. He could almost have found a second. Sakura was just playing very, very close behind him. But luckily for Sakura, the Ashe player, he didn't hop in yet. Otherwise, he would have met, or possibly met the same fate. But no, indeed, he doesn't do the very opposite thing. He does find Bankus after a quick second attempt to enter, and he does find him, takes him out. Meanwhile, Blacklist is also getting killed on Ventix. It's the second attacker losing her life. This time it's the Yana, putting this round on a 3 versus 4.
Yeah, and we see that Roni just really shine in the hands of Blacklist. I said it might be a comfort thing, and well, certainly looking that way because the gun's just doing a lot of work so far and just can dip away, just be a bit more of a nuisance. They need to now be aware of any sort of flank possibilities coming through. While they're in the disadvantage as well, it means they kind of have to play that 2 versus 3 on site, even though they know that someone's roaming. They can't fully commit to the execute while they know that Blacklist is playing downstairs. So yes, just a bit of a niggle in the back of the mind at the minute, but could come back to bite them. Actually does try to find a bit of damage onto Scurry. It's not going to work out in their favor. Second kill for the Ashe inside of this round, as we start to see eWAVE getting a little bit activated again after that first loss. However, Shinji with the C4 does find one, and Shank swings SMG-11 in hand. It's just down to Dipsy in a 1 versus 3, and what looked vaguely promising for eWAVE now just completely crumbled in front of them.
Yeah, is this really going to be like a map for NightWolve? It starts to seem like it. It's going to be a 3-5 situation if Dipsy manages, if Dipsy gets taken out and doesn't manage to win this round. Currently in a 1 versus 3 situation, his position is known. He does do a bit of damage there on Shanks and does manage to finish him off after he got burned up quite a bit. Capitao, of course, did get a little buff during the mid-season patch, which makes him a bit more useful, and then of course his pick rate seems to be increasing. But yeah, this repel entry isn't too strong. Hopin would have been much stronger, but the smoke does cover him in the end as he runs through the smoke. Shinji finds him, takes him out, which means another round win there for NightWolve, putting the score on 3-5, just 1 point away from the map points.
Yeah, NightWolve holding on strong. We're going to see a tertiary bomb site for the first time in this map. Meeting and kitchen, which I did say does tend to be the favored side when it does come down to it. But you know, dining still fairly popular, but meeting, especially as of recent, certainly falling into favor when it comes to the defensive meta. Just a little bit better than dining, you would say, but you know, it's still fairly equal, and I'm liking the look of the attacking composition so far. I'm just going to quietly ignore that for now because it can change, and indeed does. So, still very strong lineup, but let's look at the defense, Max, because we've got a Castle, got a Capcan, and again, Blacklist with the Mozzie.
Yeah, for bomb sites like these, holding top floor is usually quite crucial. Like, if you don't hold it, like, you're basically gonna give away to attackers, which can use it in their advantage. And at the same time, as long as it's in the hand of the defenders, they can deny quite a lot from above. They have the hedge, of course, in attic, leading towards meeting. But at the same time, they have a soft floor and kits, which they can use to defend kits from above. So for both sides, it's a quite crucial area to have control over, and therefore it's very recommendable as a defense to at least hold it, at least to waste the time, but even more so to have it in your control to actually defend from above
Attackers
as
have
well.
dropped the bomb diffuser.
So
Okay, attackers.
yeah, Gridlock as well coming through, which looking at Gridlock, not necessarily used for flank watch like she is possibly designed for. A lot of the time, you see it, just for denying that sort of area, clearing behind a shield. What pick from Rizraz? I'll shut my mouth about Gridlock for now because that pick onto the castle, obviously, you'd hope he places all his utility by this point in the round, but still, very great pick nonetheless. Shanks has been showing up in a big way so far this match, and well, taken off the board by Rizraz. However, back to my point on the Gridlock. Used for that sort of area denial, making sure that you can clear positions behind shields, say, or just behind corners. And another thing as well, those tracks are very, very damn loud, so you can use them to mask the sound of a plant coming through. Just use them as that sort of sound denial as well.
Yeah, it certainly does. Meanwhile, the attackers are getting quite a bit of control over the bomb side. They're already inside of dining, opening the wall towards kitchen, so they do have a proper entry point. And as Vintex also finds Blacklist, there's just 3 defenders remaining in this 5 versus 3 situation. But as Dex also finds Phantom, there's 2 remaining, Shinji and Bankus. Bankus still with 2 smoke canisters playing inside of meeting, where Shinji is currently playing right above kids, on the kids' heads, which is a very strong position. But as he is actually not aware, 2 attackers are just entering right below, even going for the defuse. He could easily deny it, and he does, but he drops.
Why did he drop that?
Still get
the team kill!
And a team kill. How is
C4 comes
happening?
through as well.
Yes.
Shinji's found 3 in that position, possibly even 4 if you count the fact that he forced a TK, and now Dipsy's left in the 1 versus 2. I thought, I was thinking this round is just over for NightWolve, and I was, thinking about a point to bring through, it's kind of understandable, tertiary bomb site, da-da-da. And honestly, I didn't initially like the decision to go for the drop there. I reckon that, you could take the fight a lot better just by staying on the hatch. You keep yourself a bit safe. But no, just has the go-nuts to go for that drop, and it works out for him. So fair play, Shinji. 12 picks on the round now. Does get taken down. Or actually, no, that's Bankers. Finds 4 kills, Max. That's a ridiculous play. And that brings NightWolve up to map point.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like how the attackers were just entering the bomb site right below, and we could even see it. I'm not 100% sure whether it was like our advantage as casters and spectators to have like the outlines around place, but I'm quite sure that I actually did see the player enter right below him.
Yeah.
And then, there was the drop. I'm not even 100% sure whether it was 100% intentional, but as he dropped, just getting so many kills and just completely destroying the attack of eWAVE. That's just a beautiful thing to see. And this just puts NightWolves on a 3-6 score. The complete opposite situation is happening here that we saw on Team Park. The round wins are slightly different, but in the end, a 3-6 also happened there. And if things go the same way, it could potentially be a 3-7 for NightWolves here.
I think it's a pretty similar sentence I'm going to say, though. This time, instead of NightWolve, it's eWAVE, but they need 3 attacking rounds in a row here to take it to overtime.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the same situation that we saw on Theme Park. So, yeah, there are some commonalities when it comes to this match, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from eWAVE. It looks like it's going to be a very, very quick rush, but no, they've actually decided to go not for the bunker side, instead opting to spawn street instead of construction site. That might have just been a bit of a mistake, because I'm seeing a blitz that screams to me a very quick rush in through bunker, but seems like NightWolve just don't want to play like that.
Yeah, it's indeed Dipsy heading his way towards bunker area, just quickly journeying ahead to find out some information while his team is just clearing the remainder of the map. I'm not even sure whether there's any roamer at the moment. I mean, there's currently Shanks playing in Big Tower, but is there anyone else? Yeah, there's Shinji playing in the kitchen area. And I think that's about it. No, there should actually be one more roamer somewhere around, probably on the top floor. Then I'm not even sure. Oh, okay, he's playing in small towers. Actually, the one might playing a small tower, just trying to go for hold here, just wasting a lot of time. Even having someone might just to strengthen his position. And if the attackers try to put full force on him, this could potentially take a lot of time to actually get him out of this position.
Now, the RC Roteros coming through. Ventix might not be aware of the player's position inside of the of the small tower, but actually it's the big tower that gets him. Shanks on that T3 window is going to be able to find that pick, which means that NightWolve yet again it's going to bring it back into an equal favor, but as the timer ticks down, you start to favor them more and more. Shinji is just going to be up here and finds the pick with the Kapkan traps, and well, Rizraz just manages to dodge for now, but Shinji is still in this area. As T4 comes through, doesn't deal enough damage onto Rizraz to take him out, and actually finds the kill. It's a direct trade from both of those players. So eWAVE still in a 2 versus 3 in the Blitz, still just waiting outside. eWAVE have played that round just, honestly, if you bring the Blitz, they've played it wrong. And there comes the Kapkan traps again.
Those Kapkan traps have been so strong. Like, we've been talking about this before, how strong Kapkan traps can be. And yeah, as the Security is now being injured, I don't think Blitz is having any faith that he can actually mean something for his team. He just decides to go into the bomb site, does try to stun Phantom, but then Phantom goes with the headshot, takes out the Blitz, and therefore wins the round for him and his team, putting the score here on a 3-7. I'm seeing it quickly. Yes, 3-7 score for NightWolve, in the Adventure of NightWolve, meaning they have just won the second map of today, meaning we will be going to a third map, which is going to be Villa.
Yeah, Villa coming through for us on map number 3. And we're back. Hey,
we're back. Hello, we're still here.
Is the scoreline. As, well, it seems like it might be a bit of a longer evening for us after all, Max. eWAVE, again, like we saw in their previous series yesterday, they win map 1, lose map 2. It all comes down to that decider, which will, like we said, be Villa. So very exciting stuff. Let's just delve into what we sorry, I just seen a very strange message from Rednax.
Okay,
bro's waffling. Okay, anyway,
okay,
all good. Yeah, let's just delve into Oregon a bit more, Max, just while we have this post-match chat.
Oregon, like a map from NightWolve, they picked it, so of course you would expect something of NightWolve. And even though we didn't fully see it coming after seeing them lose in Team Park, they did manage to prove otherwise. This is the map for NightWolves. They managed to take it with a 3-7 score, which is just as good as eWAVE did on Team Park. So great comeback. Currently the momentum on the side of NightWolves even, which could potentially be of a little advantage for Villa. But yeah, they just did a great job on Oregon. It was a complete different NightWolve, both on the attack and the defense. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Which is just a really good thing to see, as they didn't do as good on Team Park.
Yeah, and it's all defensive rounds in the second half as well, which is, you know, it's it's got to change, honestly, especially, you know, looking at Villa. It's a map that's very easy to find good defenses on. So the attack is going to be probably more important here than we saw on both Theme Park and Oregon, which is kind of ridiculous because it was pretty important in in those first two. So yeah.
Yeah, so currently a 1-1 score between these two teams as they both won one map each. So soon we'll be going to Villa, but before we go there, let's just have a little break of again about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be back. And then we will see which team will be victorious. I'm hoping there's going to be a very close map as well, like a bit closer than a 7-3 would be ideal. Potentially even going to overtime will be lovely for a decider map, but we'll see how things go. So a quick break, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm still here with still here with Uncooked, and we're just back here for the third map for today. We got two beautiful maps today: Team Park in Oregon, and well, Uncooked, how did it go? Mm, yeah. Hmm. Decider. Hmm. Yeah. Use him. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I do agree on that. It was really NightWolve's just doing really well compared to the first map. Just indeed the blitz on the last round, just not really knowing what to do. Like you're just standing outside practically the first 2 minutes or so. So that's something that was a bit questionable. But besides that, eWAVE just did well, but it was just NightWolves doing better. So yeah, we'll now be heading into Villa. We had a bit unique situation here because usually based on round difference, teams get to pick which side they want to start on the decider map. Well,
Yeah.
obviously we have a 3-7 score and a 3-7 score, so that's equal. So for that reason, we
Yeah.
did a coin flip, and in the end, it was eWAVE who got decide the starting side, and NightWolves to decide the overtime side. So in this case, it's eWAVE on the defense starting, and for the overtime, we're having eWAVE on the attack, which was then picked by NightWolves.
Correct.
So yeah, Villa, the final map for today. Usually, it's a bit of an attacker-sided, defensive-sided map. Villa here. So yeah, that's of course the very much reason that eWAVE did pick the defense here, because they obviously are also aware of those statistics, and this
Yeah.
could very much work in their favor. But at the same time, 6 rounds on defense. After that, it's up to NightWolves to go for the defense, and we'll just see how things go. The momentum currently being very much on the side of NightWolves as they just won the previous map. Which is of course a good thing for them. So it can just really go either way. And like we said before, I'm just really hoping for a very close match, potentially even going to overtime would be lovely for this final map today.
For sure.
And yeah, I think the players are as good as ready. Let me just quickly check, but I think we can just start very soon here. Just a few NightWolve players that we're waiting for, but those can also join the hand camps during the operator ban phase. So let's just go ahead and jump into the match very soon from now, and then we can see how this match will go. So yeah, like I said, eWAVE on the defense, NightWolve on the attack, and we'll be going to Villa.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading off to the Tuscany countryside when we get into the game, which is indeed happening now. The operator veto just coming up as head over to Villa. About 60% defensive win rate, which is why we did see eWAVE choose to start on this side, and that means they get that first attacking ban.
They do. Yeah, meanwhile, all players are in hand camps and are already in lobby, so the map is now loading in. So like you said, the first attacker ban now coming out from Team Blue, which is still eWAVE. In this case, it's Nuck being banned again. Not too surprising. We have seen her being banned every single round this match, every single map this match. So not a single Nuck play today.
Yeah, eWAVE have stuck with Nox Solace, so I'd be surprised if we see that change.
Yeah, this is the Monty now. That's a bit more of a unique one. Of course, Monty was played quite a bit in the previous maps. I mean, I think we did see him in every single map so far. So that's a bit of an understandable one, although Monty isn't being picked too often or being banned too often, currently being only banned 5 times throughout the whole Season 5 of ESA, followed by Valkyrie ban, which is a bit more common, currently being banned 30 times next to Mira. So it's a bit more of a common ban. And there's just one defensive ban remaining, again, coming from Team Blue, eWAVE. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Solus again? Or is it going to be something more unique? Nope. Solus it is. Very, very default, but again, like we said, very strong operator, so also somewhat understandable.
Absolutely, as it comes through. I thought Rizraz just teased me a bit with the just flown to Chanka, but instead goes with the more optional pick of Smoke as we head to Aviator Games for the first defense. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far from eWAVE, as you know, seeing a Goyo, seeing a Jaeger, Rooney, Smoke, Mute on this bomb site is all very standard. You'll often see those Vulcan canisters on the doorways, on the entrance, especially on that zombie door, just to deny the entrance from the attack, because obviously those canisters burn for 20 seconds max.
Sorry, you need to repeat that one more time. Sorry. Excuse me.
I was just talking about Goyo. That's it.
Goyo. Yeah, Goyo, of course, being very well at denying certain areas for a pretty long time. A bit more effective would be Atachenka, as his launcher has much more ammo and his fire lasts much longer compared to Goyo. But at the same time, it's a bit more difficult to handle. His LMG isn't too great of a weapon. Yes, it's very strong, does a lot of damage. So technically, you could consider picking the Atachenka. But at the same time, Goyo is definitely considered way more often compared to Chenka. So, yeah, great operator to be playing, which is very good at denying certain areas. And Blitz, we were talking about him the previous map. We're seeing him once more, this time on the side of NightWolves.
And this is that quick entrance that we were talking about. Flashbang comes through. That player just has to dip away. The Toxic Babes come through. It's Blacklist that finds first, taking out Ventix. The opening pick goes away off NightWolf. C4 comes through as the entrance into the bomb site already, but the SMG-11 takes down the Ash. Rizraz finding that kill. The Shanks tries to find the flick, but as the flames come through, makes it a lot more difficult for these players actually on the bomb site to find the picks. Shinji, great free fire, finding the head of Scurry. Now 3 versus 4, eWAVE in this disadvantage. It's only been a minute.
Yeah, only within 1 minute, there's already 3 people taken out. 2 on the side of the defense, 1 on the side of the attack. I'm not sure. I think, yes, attackers still have side control. There's Yana still inside as she is getting injured and getting finished by Dipsy. I'm not quite sure. I think they're still playing in Study in a very strong position. Takes out Dex, but then gets him the kill on Shanks. Brings things to a 2 versus 2. Currently Blitz inside of the bomb site. Phantom taking out Rizraz, leaving Dipsy all alone, currently playing there on landing. But potentially Banker's going for the defuse anytime soon, as he does have side control.
Yeah, can just put the shield on the back, go for the plant, makes it very difficult to actually kill the planter. No C4 in pocket for Dipsy either. Just 2 picks left to find. The also shields start to come through, but it's going to be the actual spring. The pre-fire comes through, and it means the Phantom knows the location of the Goyo. Dipsy gives it away in those final moments, and NightWolve, brilliant first attack here on Villa.
It was indeed a very, very good first round for the attacking team. Extremely aggressive. Clearly, eWAVE not being prepared for this kind of aggressive plays. I think within the first minute already, the first player was inside of the bomb site, which was the Ash. She did get 1 kill, but unfortunately wasn't able to get any further. But she did manage to get quite a bit of distraction and quite a good opportunity for the remainder of her team to build on further upon that, to eventually win the round for the team. So yeah, first round win, going to the attack. For this reason, the defending team, eWAVE, going for the second attempt on the same bomb site. Nothing wrong with that, just a few adjustments, and they might be victorious this time around. Of course, it's unlikely to see another very aggressive round from NightWolves like we just saw, as it would be a bit predictable. But yeah, as we look at the lineup for them, we don't see anything pointing in that direction. So eWAVE will have a better chance this time. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah, very similar setup indeed. Exactly the same composition from eWAVE. It's going to be a different line of attack though from NightWolve instead. Going for probably a bit of a slower take, because they are actually spawning over towards that northern side, looking to do a standard cross clear. We do have one interesting operator here, which is that Brava coming through from Bankers, making sure that they just don't actually have that control. And also, you kind of brought it up, but I think this is kind of, if NightWolve win this round, this is possibly where that fatigue starting to set in for eWAVE. Now, obviously, they had a very long best-of-3 series just yesterday. And now heading into a map 3 here, we could see NightWolve just take the advantage here, just thanks to the fact that they've had a bit of longer to rest and recuperate in this league.
Yeah, and as the Attackers are now trying to get control of the northeastern side of the map, they're just getting further and further control, but still they have a long way to go. All those laser gates are going to be a hell of a problem for them. They do have some ways to deal with them. There's nades, there's flashbangs, there's drones that you can use, but as Ventex get the first kill on Shinji, those nades are being taken off the board, leaving only the flashbangs and those potential drones. But yeah, this is a 5 versus 4 situation. Attackers are getting further control over the map. So far, they have got control over the full northern side of the map, but just the Jaeger playing towards the red stairs area, where it could potentially be of danger towards the attacking team. But the attacking team is making more progress. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, and soon they will start to attempt to take the landing and 90.
Shanks, though, does find Ventex. I think that was probably down below. Indeed, it was just trying to rotate up the red stairs. Obviously, did find that opening pick inside of the basement. As we start to see these drones coming through, Dipsy finds a kill onto Shanks. That's a C4 kill from down below. This is another thing from the Villa that we saw yesterday as well. Just the inability to clear down those roamers who were underneath, as Dipsy finds a second with the Vector in hand. It's now just down to Phantom and Blacklist inside of this round. And still, that bulletproof camera persists. The Ash Charge will just clear it for now, but still have a lot of utility left that they want to try and clear behind. And with only 40 seconds left to do it, it's looking dire for NightWolve in this round.
This is a very difficult position for them to be in, kind of being stuck towards the 90 area. Ash almost needing to force herself through the laser gate, as I believe the walls next to her are even reinforced, not allowing her to use a stretch for a quick rotation. No, she cannot. Those walls are reinforced indeed. So very difficult position for her to be in. She needs to run through the laser gate, which is exactly what she's doing. But this is paying off. She does find Dipsy and takes him out, but unfortunately Rishrest is getting a retake there, taking up Blacklist and getting the final kill as well on the Phantom. Meaning this round will be won by the defending team, eWAVE, and this final map for today starts at a very nice and close score. And the score right now is 1-1.
Yeah, however, we did see it start on a 1-1 on Oregon as well, and look how that turned out.
Yes,
NightWolve getting that 7-3 across the board, so all is not lost for either team here. Obviously, I've only seen 2 rounds, but very different looks across both of them. NightWolve, when they were able to surprise eWAVE with their very quick push, they looked absolutely clinical and clean, right? But eWAVE, they just kind of stepped it up another gear there in that round, completely denying the entrance, and, well, just became very difficult for the attack to move about the map, and eventually led to their downfall in that lovely double kill from Rizraz.
A very lovely double kill indeed, and as we know, heading into the third round, and the defending team finally managed to win that first round, they will now, or must now, go to a different bomb site, for which we're now heading to Trophy Statuary. We're seeing a clear extension towards the games Aviator room, excuse me, that's the one I was looking for. Games Aviator, a very common extension where not much of reinforcements have happened on the bomb site itself. I mean, the entire wall is still soft. I cannot imagine they will leave this soft, and especially if Dipsy is now going for the late reinforce, the wall will finally be defended a bit more, which is very recommendable. Because if the wall will be reinforced, it will be absolutely disastrous for the defending team, as the attackers could just easily open it up and would have a very clear line of sight into both bomb sites.
Yeah, although I guess it was just, you know, NightWolve had already gone for a very quick play. I think there's a very low likelihood that they try and go for a similar take yet again. So maybe they're just playing that gamble, rolling those dice, making sure that they actually just have that time to set up elsewhere where it might actually be a bit more time critical.
Yeah, a very interesting position here from Sakuri, like a very strong position as well. C4 even coming out, unfortunately not managing to get anyone, but Dipsy, however, managing to get a kill there on Blacklist, taking out the Sledge as the first attacker down. I think, I'm not even sure, maybe it was the trophy entrance window, not entirely sure where that Sledge was playing, but either way, he's been taken care of. It's a 5 versus 4 position. Noma's still trying to fight off at the bedroom area where I think Sakuri, yeah, he now has fallen back a little bit, so he's no longer playing inside of the bedroom area, the bedroom room, for where he can denied the attackers quite well, but still attackers now are able to get a bit more control.
It's a very linear attack so far, though, from NightWolve. It's really only this master side that's being pressured. You do have bankers down below, just taking a sweet time about it. Not really putting that pressure through, so we did see some magnets take some Selma charges out of action. Shanks is kind of locked inside of the closet here. There's just all the lines of sight working against them. NightWolve, with only a minute left, aren't looking in the best position here, especially now that Dipsy finds that rotating player on the backside. Shinji, now just the only player left below, has to try and get something done. No vertical nades. The Shanks misses the flick onto that rotating player in Astro. I believe that probably was Dipsy on the mute, as now the go-go canisters start to ring true as well. The Vulcans just making those flames come through. Shanks pixel angle not quite working for him. 30 seconds as the round starts to come to a head. The execute has to start coming through soon, as Phantom now being the one to step up to the plate and gets completely shut down off the overside by Scurry. Now, it's just these same prone angles being worked, each attacker in hand. And there's the down onto Shanks. It becomes a 1 versus 5. Shinji, not looking good. Might even be able to find pick, but no. Ventic shuts it down, and eWAVE. It's a shaky first round, but now they've got 2 on the board. And while that momentum starting to build back up yet again, we've talked a lot about the momentum inside of this game, and well, they might just start to have it.
Yeah, it's very, very strong defense here from eWAVE, just not allowing the attackers to get further control from bedroom. Yes, they have been able to open up the wall. Yes, they have been able to enter, but from there they couldn't do anything, especially since all the other attackers either lost a life downstairs, or I'm not even sure where the Slash lost his life. But just having those 2 attackers stuck on the bedroom, not being able to do anything is just so extremely difficult for them. Such a difficult position for them to be in. And just all the eyes were focused on those attackers towards the master bedroom, through the different doors or holes that remains, just making it impossible for them to even possibly enter. So that's a flawless round there for eWAVE, putting them in the lead with a 2-1 score, as they're still on the defense. We'll now be heading to the 3rd bomb site for today, which is kitchen dining.
Yeah, tertiary bombs like coming through. It's quite often the one that you see won by the attackers. And obviously, if NightWolve win here and eWAVE then win their next 2 defenses, you get that very standard 4-2 rotation that we see a lot of the time. So, you know, for NightWolve, even though 2 rounds have just been won by the defense, they are on the 2 very defensive sites of AVG and Trophy Statuary, what you tend to see the defenders win on. However, if eWAVE get a 3rd round here, that's when alarm bells start to ring for NightWolve, because we've seen them struggle. We've seen both teams really struggle in the second half when it comes down to heading onto that more favorable side, and on Villa it definitely is the defense.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing also Jekyll being brought this time, which is going to be a very useful operator. There's quite a bit of defenders playing offside, Pulse being one of those, currently still playing towards, or actually no, he has been rotated back to Memorial. Earlier he was playing in Living and Library, for where of course he can be very strong with his scanner from below, potentially even throwing C4 from below, taking out attackers as they are making their way towards the top floor. The top floor seems to be the main objective here for the attacking team, to just take care of the top floor before they are even able to go for an execute on the bomb side. And as a C4, actually, I believe, yeah, it was C4 from Pulse coming from below, but unfortunately on an indestructible surface, not doing a single bit of damage. A bit of a miscalculation there probably from the Pulse. But yeah, either way, the round goes on. It's a 5 versus 5 still with 1 minute and 45 seconds. And attacker is still trying to get control over the northern side.
There's a C4 though from Dipsy, just being guided by Scurry on the Pulse. There's now NightWolve again in a very difficult situation. Again, fully rotating around instead of going for this pantry. There's a quick entry from Blacklist into the bomb site, gets shut down immediately as Bankers tries to collect as well. The shotgun though from Rizraz rings true, finds a double. Phantom does get that first kill, but it's the TCSG at close range, and now Shinji left all alone, 1 versus 4. And this is that kind of situation that I started to say about, you're now losing on your defender's worst bomb site. Just not a great situation as Scurry closes it out with UMP, the worst gun in the game, is pulled by certain, you know, world champions, and still makes it work. eWAVE, they extend that lead, and NightWolve, where do you go from here?
Yeah, NightWolve not in an ideal situation right here. It's a 3-1 score. There's still 2 rounds to go for them to attack on, and yeah, ideally they will win 2 more rounds. Like we said before, Villa tends to be very defensive sided currently within ESA. It's a 57% defensive win,
Attackers need to
so
locate
technically
and
they
defuse
might be
bombs.
working against NightWolve here, but still. A 4-2 would be like the bare minimum, I would say, for them to go into the roll stop with the midpoint of 6 rounds.
Attackers
So
have
ideally
discovered
they
the
will win
location
1 more
of the
round, but a 3-3 portion will be even better. We'll now be going back to games Aviator, a bomb set that was played 2 times before, I believe. It was won once by NightWolves. That was a very aggressive round that we saw in the very beginning of this match.
Yeah.
But of course, eWAVE did win it once as
10
well. So
seconds
it's currently a
remaining.
1-1 score on this bomb side. The question is, what will happen here on this third
5
time?
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I just think NightWolve need to try and find that aggression again. Obviously, it came down to a 1 versus 2 in the end of it, so even their only round win, it was pretty close. So, yeah, aggression just not being used in the right way from NightWolve in the subsequent rounds like we're seeing here. So, yeah, that's probably the big pointer for me. Just, you know, try and find that more aggressive take and just make it effective as well. Obviously, easier said than done, but you know, that's probably where it's going to be because they keep getting caught out by these aggressive plays on the entry game, and well, that's where it's really not working out for him.
Yeah. Dipsy, meanwhile, getting spotted by the drones. He's currently playing in line. I think he's kind of stuck. I mean, I think Bankos is playing on the bicycle mud area where Blacklist is currently playing here on front entrance. So technically, he's kind of locked in. He could make his way out from living towards the hallway, but potentially even there might be someone waiting for him. So he's in a very difficult position. But at the same time, as long as he's here, attackers are going to be very scared of you. They're probably going to be trying to take care of you. And as long as you're playing here, you're just wasting so much time on the attacking side and just creating so much distraction. Meanwhile, however, Shank's already inside of the top of main stairs, finding a first place, taking out the smoke. The smoke.
Oh.
Not an ideal operator to lose early on. Sorry?
Did every air jab get caught by ADSs there?
Might actually been. Yeah, I actually was. Yeah, I didn't check that. You probably say better than me, but.
That's all. I just heard at least 2 ADSs go off, so maybe all 3 of them
Oh,
did,
yeah.
and unfortunate team kill, but they get the kill onto Dipsy as well. Dex is going to aggress up onto the main stairs. Does still have a C4 in the pocket, which could come in useful. Scurry also with that explosive nitro cell is just going to aggress up onto Scuddy. They need to try and be the ones to find his initiative. What a pick from Scurry! And he gets the second as well! How's he gotten away with that one? Because now it's just Dex in a 1 versus 2. Finally the inter came through, and the whiffs of shots is messy, but it still finds the kill onto Blacklist. Shinji now in the 1 versus 1 does find the collection, and he knows that Dex is on the other side. The wall bangs come through, and NightWolves again. It's a close round and scrappy too, but they finally get another on the board.
Wow, that was so close. Like, it could really have gone either way. The double kill from the mute was absolutely beautiful, bringing things to a 2 versus 2, and then it could have, it almost seemed to be going in the way of the defenders, but then luckily the attackers being able to work things around. Am I saying this right? Yeah, I'm saying it right. Yeah. The attackers being able to work things around for NightWolve there, finally earning that other
Attackers need
point,
to
just
locate
bringing things
and
to 3
defuse
versus
bombs.
2. So even if they lose the upcoming rounds, like I said, the 4-2 is the bare minimum, but a 3-3 would be even better, and that's certainly possible after that previous round. So they're in a good position right now, and if they just win 1 more, then we will kind of follow the tradition from the previous 2 maps and go with a 3-3 score into the split.
Yeah.
Attackers have
And then
discovered the
who do you
location of a
favour in
bomb.
that, right? Because we've seen it go either way both times.
Mm-hmm.
I've just checked because you know we had that question about the air jabs. There was only 2 of them that got caught
2.
by ADSs, but even still, that's
5 seconds.
not great.
No,
when
certainly not.
you only have 3 in the Nomad, you know,
Attackers
just
are heading out
maybe a
to
little
the
bit of extra time needed just to clear some of the utility that the defenders have brought along. But either way, it is going to be a successful round from NightWolve. As, like you said, we go over to Trophy Statuary, and yeah, who do you favour in this game? You know, especially if we go to that 3-3 with Bankers finding a very quick pick onto the smoke yet again, opening death.
Yeah, I think the smoke was still making rotations there towards walk-in closet or something, as or maybe even verticals. That's a very unfortunate way to use the smoke very early on, as the smoke, of course, gets very strong towards the end of the round with the smoke canisters. That's when he's the most valuable. So that's not the way to lose him. That's not the right moment to lose him. And this is a good way for the attackers to start this round. Aki already be making her way inside of the master bedroom. Just trying to put some first bit of pressure. Also, Dipsy getting damaged quite a bit.
Wow.
I think from Trophy enters on 90 somewhere. And also Sakuri losing quite a bit of damage as well. Who's playing on 90 at the moment.
Dexo does find a response, taking out Shanks. That's a Nomad. We did already hear one air jab go off, but well, there's no more to be fired, that's for sure, as gets taken out of the round. Shinji on this repel, but it doesn't even matter because Phantom finds one. Dex again, 2 kills in the round, just finding that response. And now 100 seconds left. It's on to Bankers inside the bathroom, really, who has the best position here to try and do something. They know the position of the player behind the wall, but Bankers does indeed find it. Scurry, though, does take down Blacklist. So we're still in a 2 versus 2. Dex still alive as well, who's been having a massive impact inside of this round. The pre-fire nearly comes through, nearly connects, but just not to be, as Dex still tries to sneak up, but the close angle doesn't work out for him. It's Scurry now 1 versus 2 in a very difficult situation. Low HP, nades and explosives from the other side, and more importantly, well, plenty of time for the attack to work with. They're going to be able to work this position. They're going to be able to get the diffuser down. And indeed, the Gemini replicator does come through. They now know this position. Scurry, what way are you going to go? What way are you going to move? What are you going to do? This action to do the rotation, round through landing, round through red. Nearly finds the shot, but just not to be inside of the round in this moment. The pre-fire, though, is good for one. Shinji now sneaking up behind. The pre-fires again through the wall, nearly finding purchase. But that's diffuser down. Scurry just dips away. Does still have a C4 in pocket. And is indeed just going to wait for the collection of the diffuser. Can play below now that the diffuser is getting planted, but might not be aware of it. The intel on the bomb site just not quite coming through for the side of eWAVE as the diffuser gets stuck. Shinji in the situation, and again more pixel angles not quite going the way of the defenders, as well we're in a very tricky situation here. About 25 seconds left to go, and Scurry's just getting on this defuse. Do they know? Does he know? You've got to get there in time. Shinji has come to try and find the kill, and he doesn't get it. NightWolve, I mean, eWAVE just in the nick of time. The shots just ring out in the final moments.
Wow.
4 rounds to 2. It's not an equal half this time.
Oh man. Wow.
And a great clutch coming through from Scurry.
I was convinced that the Yana was still going to be in time. Like when I saw her approaching the corner where she was able to see the Goyo and was starting to start shooting, I was like convinced like one bullet is all she needs to take him out. She was so low on HP, but miraculously she was just a little like it's probably even milliseconds too late to actually deny the defuse there. A beautiful play from the Goyo. And what a way to win the 4th round for eWAVE there. So currently a 4-2 score in the advantage of eWAVE, for where they will not be playing as the attacking team. And now NightWolve can finally play as a defending team, which hopefully should be working in their favor. And then potentially they can work things back to, like, let's say, an equal 4-4 or 5-5 score eventually, to make things as thrilling as it have been throughout the previous maps.
5 seconds to insertion.
Well, defense
Objective is to locate a
for
bomb and
NightWolve.
defuse it.
Yeah, that's
Favoured side, what was it? I think nearly 60%
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
of rounds won by the defense. So NightWolve, hopefully for their sake, they can look to work this advantage, because we've seen when the round swap happens, the team gets onto the more favoured side and they just can't even win a single round. A good spawn peak C4?
Wow.
Fair enough.
That's not one you see every day.
Shinji go off, I guess, taking out Rizraz, opening death, I think 2 or 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that's certainly a very creative one you don't see too often happening. I'm not even sure whether I saw that one before. Like you do see C4s on that 90 window whenever you know someone is repelling there, but like a spawn peak C4, that's a new one for me on this place.
Yeah, Sure, although there is a pick coming back the other way. That's Scurry to find Shinji. However, Dipsy downed in a frost mat. Shanks might be near enough to collect that kill, but no. Gets the recollection, does Scurry. Diffuser back in the hands of Dipsy. But, you know, still good HP taken off the board.
Yeah, it's now 4 versus 4. Dipsy's quite low in HP, but Mozzie is still playing very close here on Trophy. He's getting surrounded. Someone is trying to enter from the Trophy window, but at the same time, there's people inside of potentially Statuary already by now. No, they're still in Master Bedroom. So he's in a very strong but also dangerous position as he can be approached from different angles. But the Jaeger is playing close by. I mean, it's rotated back to Aviator, but could still jump in if needed so, from where he can potentially provide some support.
So
the Mozzie does get spotted out by the Yana hologram.
Yeah.
He does get found. He knows he's spotted. He decides to jump down. Is now rotating back from the living room towards the main stairs area where the Frost is currently playing. Just trying to cover him a little bit. And this way he will be able to successfully rotate back to side where he will be able to live a little bit longer for now.
50 seconds left though on the clock as Blacklist finds one, taking out Scurry. And the Magnets take that smoke grenade. It's going to force Ventix to just try and find a different angle, different approach down below. There's not really enough time to try and make this work. It has to be the push coming through and now, because otherwise there just won't be enough left on the clock to get that diffuser down. Dipsy still inside of 90 and another Frostman on the red stairs taking Ventix down low as well. Candela's possibly to come through onto 90, but no, they don't actually catch Shanks. See another one thrown, he just has to fall back, caught in the magnet, which means that they can't get it done, and it's actually the Capcan traps that take him down. Bankers falls on the bomb side as Dex forcing their way through, Ventix as well, but the shots don't land onto Phantom. 1 versus 2 now for Ventix, and there's just no time on the clock. NightWolve, they answer back 4 rounds to 3.
Yeah, 4 rounds to 3. The defense, the role swap certainly helping NightWolves, at least for this first round right now. Just closing the gap by 1 round. Still 1 round advantage there for eWAVE. But the question is how long this will remain to be so. Just 1 more round win for NightWolve, and of course it will be a 4-4 score. And for the second defensive round right now, we'll be heading towards Trophy Room Statuary, where they will have their second defensive round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, it stands to reason. I think it's actually both times we've seen no attacking rounds won in the second half, and indeed it is. And well, as of right now, that trend continues. eWAVE still on 4, but you know, that was the primary bomb site. You know, heading into the secondary as well, you don't necessarily expect the attack to be winning this one. It's more of a bonus than an accepted outcome, if you will. However, you know, eyes are going to have to be turned to that kitchen dining tertiary bomb site when NightWolve get there, because that's really going to be the interesting one to me, whether the eWAVE have been able to fix up their attacks a little bit since that last map on Oregon.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, so as we now start with the rounds, eWAVE on their second offensive round. The first one, it got very close, but it was NightWolves in the end winning the round right there. So another round, different bomb site this time, and we'll see how things will go. Again, NightWolves having a lot of those trap operators, which were very successful previous rounds. The Frost and the Capcan doing lots of damage. Frost getting 2 injuries, Capcan even getting 1 kill at one point. So there's a lot of trap opportunities there for the defending team, which had been very successful before. Meanwhile, the Sledge already entering downstairs, but there's actually a few people waiting around him, at least being in a very close proximity, but also playing 1 player right above him. So if he would actually know that, he could potentially try to go for a nade kill from below, but the fact that the Mozzie is standing on some non-destructible surface might deny that option.
Yeah, Ventix does find the first, taking out Blacklist from down below. And that was the Jaeger just sort of playing inside of the kitchen entrance. So that's going to force the defenders to go a little bit further back. You can see Bankers forced to rotate into the sort of toilet nearby library. Which is not really a great position to play at all. He's kind of just playing his life here, or at least hoping to try and be a bit of an off angle to find 1 pick as the swing starts to come through onto the closet. very well spotted out by Rizraz. Takes it down. They don't want to fall to the frost mats twice in a row. Bankers now taking this rotate because they know that they just have to try and push this. So the flashbangs come through. Shinji tries to find the pre-fires over the top, but does not find a single piece. The Scurry is inside the closet now. Could still look to work these angles, but does need to be aware of Phantom, who's playing inside of the bathroom. 1 minute left to go now in this round, and NightWolve look like they're at a heavy disadvantage.
Yeah, meanwhile, Bankers is still on the loose. He's currently playing on the backstairs. His position is known. They're still chasing him. So he's actually wasting a lot of time. He's currently working with 2 attackers trying to chase him, giving a bit more opportunity for him and for his teammates. And Shinji that gets a kill on Scurry. It's now 4 versus 3 situation where things might still be possible for NightWolves, even though they have the man disadvantage, because there's only 35 seconds remaining. But still some traps being placed here and there. There might just be some miracle that still could work things around for them.
That's unlucky. Shinji nearly spotted out the ace of Rizraz as it stands though in a 3 versus 4, makes it 2 versus 4 as it's going to be kills back and forth. The kill feed lighting up multicolored, but it's blue that finds the way. eWAVE find their next attack, and well, the answer was, could they convert? The answer was yes. 5 on the board now, Max, and well, that's the question answered, and questions raised for NightWolve. They can't win their secondary bomb site here, it seems.
It clearly seems so, and the patterns that we saw in terms of round wins that we saw in the first 2 maps are clearly not present here on Villa. So it's a very good map to be a decider, to finally break those patterns. And it's, yeah, at the moment it's eWAVE currently being the lead with a 2-point advantage. Just 1 more point to go, and they would be on match points. But it will be Nabi Knight was going for another defensive attempt. The second time they will be going to this one. So there's not, like I said before, there's no shame on trying a bomb for a second time. But potentially with the right adjustments or just a better execution, they could be victorious. I put the score on a 5-4, but at the same time, yeah, it was just eWAVE who we just saw win this deck here. So potentially this could be another round for them.
Yeah. I do like seeing the Azami being brought along, though. I think that's a really good change. I don't believe she was present in the previous round, and indeed no. If my memory serves me correctly, Bankers was playing the Wamai last time around. So seeing the Azami come through, rest of the operators are pretty much the same. We're seeing Jaeger being passed around a couple times between a few of these operators, but yeah, pretty similar setup or composition even from NightWolve, but yeah, that Azami just has the power to change so much.
Yeah, and interestingly, the defenders have decided to completely let go over the Aviator and Games bomb area. A very strong and common position to hold as you're defending the statuary trophy area, because it's a very common area for attackers to come from. But the defenders have clearly decided to let go of the area and just give it to the attackers if they want to. However, the attackers do still seem to come from the northeastern side of the map, which is the most veteran side. Various attackers stacking themselves up there, just looking for the first way in, joining things out, dealing with certain utility. So it doesn't seem to be too big of a problem yet for defenders to just let go of that area.
No, utility being taken out now. Twitch of Scurry being put to great work here. Just allowing those RC Roteros of the Flores of Ventix to work their way through, and that's going to find pretty much all the utility that is over there. At least 2 ADSs, deployable shield as well. Twitch drone does get shot out on the breach. There's still another one active though, which means they can just find those picks. Taking out even more utility. You know, those pests are very useful, but oh, what a shot from Blacklist. Taking out Dex. I didn't even see him, even with the outlines. So, must have been a surprise for the Ash down below. Because that's NightWolve off to a good start.
It's certainly a good start for NightWolves. It's a very strong pick there on the Mozzie. Then it's also Shanks with the kill there on Scurry. That's another attacking losing his life. This time it's a Twitch. So no longer needing to worry about those drones and the great gun that Twitch brings along the board. So 3 versus 5 position. Still the Heart Breacher is still in place. You could technically do some damage there, as there's no mute or bandit or whatsoever picked. So they still have an option to open the walls however they like. Which could create some new lines of sight and opportunities there for the attacking team. But the timer's
Yeah,
ticking
but-
on. There's 45 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
about
they need to be very careful with the timing here.
They've wasted a lot of time of the defense. You know, even if they had lost a couple, one pick here, you know, they'd still be in a great position as Ventix just not aware. Doesn't know the Blacklist prone on those stairs, and well, it's a 2 versus 5. This round looks pretty much over here, Max.
It does. Both attackers currently locked inside the Moth platform, even doing friendly damage there, even getting a 15 kill in the end. Dipsy, however, making things a little bit right by taking out Shanks. He does get the kill he was looking for, but he's so low in HP and he lost his teammates. And then he's getting finished by Phantom, who did do the jump out from the window. Gets the final kill right there. And that's another round win there for the defensive side. NightWolves putting score on 5-4, putting themselves just 1 point behind on their opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. Not choosing to go. Actually, they do. I was going to say, I was like, AVG's open, guys. But yeah, do go to AVG. Obviously, they won here before in their very first defensive round of round 7. It looked pretty clean and pretty dominant from them. So looking to repeat that performance. As eWAVE, you know, if you get this attack on the board, it's looking pretty good for you to be able to close out Villa here, and against not quite all the odds, but against certain odds, prove the community right. You know, what was it? It was like pretty much 76% of people voted that eWAVE would win this match, and they do have the lead here, but NightWolve, they can defend AVG, and then they are going to have to play a tertiary before they get to play trophy again. So overtime might very well be calling here.
Yeah, it could very much be possible, especially like if NightWolves wins this defensive bomb site, which he already won once before. Yeah, it could very much become a 5-5 score. And as the round is now starting, the action phase is starting. It's really up to eWAVE to go for the attack here. They have brought along a Ying, which is an interesting one. Can be very, very strong. We have seen it before. But besides that, there's nothing too interesting to point out. However, there's Shanks, of course, playing as the Warden. The perfect, how do you say it? Perfect
Counter.
Counter, thank you very much. The perfect counter against the Ying, which could create some very interesting situations between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to keep an eye on that interaction and that engagement if it comes through. As of right now, though, drones not able to find access into that sort of study area from the balcony. Just, you know, the Mozzie of Blacklist keeping them at bay. There's no utility elsewhere to try and clear out those pieces of utility. They are being rather pesty, and it makes sense why they're called that. Just a bit of a nuisance around the map.
Yeah, that's the first minute and 15 seconds have passed. Attackers are still trying to find a way inside. There's still a few inside, but nothing too crazy. But Blacklist with a beautiful kill there on Dipsy, taking out the first attack, and that's a Ying nonetheless. So a very strong attacker off the board right here, which is certainly going to be a very impactful for the attacking team. It's a 4 versus 5 C4 coming out, potentially, unfortunately not doing any damage there on the Ash. Just activating of the C4 just took a little too long, otherwise you potentially could have gotten even a kill there. But Scurry just getting out alive, luckily for him. But then next we call Phantom explosive from below, potentially taking off Phantom, and then Scurry with a kill down Blacklist, putting things on 4 versus 3 situation in the advantage of the attacking team.
Yeah, Shanks is just being pressured here at the top of main stairs. Now goes for the swing, finds the first, nearly collects onto the second as well, and Rizraz finds one. It's the trade to come through, but Shanks 3 massive picks at the top of the stairs, and now Dex is left alone in a 1 versus 2. Villa is bringing us the heat here, Max, because this game looks like it's going to go to all 12 and quite possibly even further than that.
Yeah, an absolute beautiful play from Shanks there. He's currently still alive with his teammate Shinji versus Dex, the only remaining attacker. Dex did get a kill with a nade from below, but he's still playing against 2 other defenders. He doesn't have any nades left. He does still have his full HP, but the frost trap on top of the stairs. Yeah, it's just like, this is one of those tough situations we've been talking about. When the time is running out, you don't have the time to check for those kind of traps, and this is when they are the most lethal. So, yeah, a defensive round there for NightWolve, putting the score on an even 5-5. And as I like to say, when we hit the 5-5 score, the upcoming 2 rounds are going to be very important. Either team wins 1 round and we're going to overtime, or one of the 2 teams wins 2 right now, and we'll have a winner.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So the
Certainly
upcoming
very
2
possible.
rounds are going to be very important in this case.
Absolutely. And we do head to that tertiary downstairs, which means eWAVE. You could say they are kind of favoured here
Attackers have located
inside
a bomb.
of this position, obviously. You know, tertiary bomb site, less of a defensive stronghold than you would argue with the top 2 floors, and they've already won on trophy statuary. However, we did see a similar thing on NightWolve's attack,
10 seconds
where
left before
they
insertion.
won on AVG, which is arguably the best site in the game, or on the map even, but they still weren't able to
Attackers
close
are
it out
moving to defuse the
on
bomb.
this kitchen site. So still very possible for NightWolve to find a win here. And, you know, you have to say a lot of this success is coming from the aggressive early plays of players like Blacklist, who we've seen do just monumentally on the entry engagement in these past few rounds.
Yeah, indeed. And as we're now heading into this 11th round, interestingly, there's not a single bit of defensive setup on the top floor from the defensive team. I mean, earlier there wasn't, or actually 2 reinforcements have just happened as the round has started, or at least the action phase has started. So finally, they still managed to put up some defense here, but it was just a bit late. Attackers are trying to get the first bit of control. Shinji playing here up top as the Capcan, potentially even has placed some Capcan traps above here, but luckily the attacking team did bring the IQ, which is going to be very useful. But oh, when you see one of those rare counters, which is the Pulse playing right below with the scanner in hand, but no, he has the C4 as well. A return to sender. That's a very nice counter against the IQ as well. Taking out the IQ with a first nice opening kill there for Bankus.
Yeah, Sakari just not quite getting it done with the scanner, obviously. You know, we mentioned it, the IQ, such a brilliant counter to the Pulse, but actually, if you have a look, I think Blacklist has managed to sneak by Ventix completely undetected. He could go for a massive flank here in the final few moments, obviously, as Dipsy is starting to play around this this other side, finds the kill onto Shanks. It's actually Shinji to connect out elsewhere. And here comes Blacklist. They might not be aware, and indeed they aren't. Ventix just wanders into the sightline, completely oblivious to the position of the Mozzie playing upstairs. Now Dipsy has to be very careful indeed. The Talon 8 shield out, doesn't even feel comfortable taking that 50-50 gunfight, as they just need to try and worm out the attacker upstairs. But with only 2 attackers left alive, Dex and Dipsy, Foster and Sledge, they are going to still be able to open up this vertical. They've got a bit of time to work with as well, 50 seconds, but in this situation, you'd hope they at least get 1 pick within the next sort of 10 seconds. Otherwise, with 30 seconds left in the 4 versus 2, it's looking very difficult indeed, as Dipsy now starting to go hunting, starting to go looking on that ground floor. However, they just don't know the default camera's there, and Blacklist finds another kill. Dipsy now just all alone, just find the first, nearly finds a second through the wall bang. The outline's there, but the hard wall just blocks it. 20 seconds. And now timer continuing to tick away. Shinji on this close angle gets taken down as well. Dipsy could do this here, Max. Blacklist is still playing far away from the bomb site, and they don't even have diffuser, which means that should just be the round over. There's no time to get the kill, no time to get the case, and now no lives to do it either, as Phantom locks it down. NightWolve gets series point here against eWAVE, and possibly looking to get the upset of possibly the entire season. I think that's fair to say, because the way they looked on map 1, eWAVE possibly should have taken it 2-0, but well, trophy statuary stands in the way between overtime and heartbreak for eWAVE.
Yeah, eWAVE, of course, also playing yesterday against Villains, not having their best of matches, apparently, as I heard from them. And yeah, just one of the luxuries that they that you have in the upper bracket, that you never play 2 matches in a row, but it's one of the luxuries you don't have in the lower bracket team. Because unfortunately, they played yesterday. I need to play again today, so not too much time for them to work on the comeback, to just improve themselves, really. And yeah, this could be just very much the end of them. They're currently their opponent is on match points, series points. So they just need to be very careful with this upcoming round. They need to win this round if they still want to have a chance. Because if they don't win this round, it will be all over for them, and we will be saying goodbye to them. They will be one of those. What was it again? 16 teams? They will be like in the top 16?
It will be the there's 12 teams still in the league currently.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, this week narrows down the top 8. So like you mentioned earlier, 25% still in the running after this week, 75% already eliminated. Obviously, top 12, nothing to scoff at, especially with a team, with a league with as many good teams as we have. But there's only the prize money for those top 3 spots. So you really want to try and be making this lower bracket run if you want to try and get some of that tasty prize pool.
Yeah, so this is a very important round for eWAVE here if they still want to have another chance in the overtime for this map. But therefore, in order to go there, they need to win this upcoming round. Mossy is currently playing towards the classical main stairs. His footprints already have been spotted, so the attacking team should be aware of his position somewhat. Even the lion scan could help him, but as he's standing still, he won't be spotted. There's someone right there on the 90 window. C4 is coming out. Will it actually connect? It might just do. No, it doesn't. The ace is able to avoid it and even managed to open up the wall. What was he trying to open, actually, the ace? I did hear an ace shot, right?
It's the AVG wall. Games wall and blacklist. Playing around the pillar, plays it perfectly. Dips back to sight. The scan does catch him, but Dipsy taken down low and Shanks as well. Dipsy does find the first, but Shanks connects Phantom down. But this is going from bad to worse for eWAVE as they are facing down the barrel of a defeat here inside of the lower bracket. Round 2. They came in from such high hopes. They won their first series of the upper bracket. Looked in a really good position. Then Villains yesterday, NightWolve today could very well be the end of their run here. Scurry and Rizraz just look to keep them alive here in the competition. Shinji playing on close. Shanks and Blacklist also with their guns up. Scurry spots a position, but just has to dip away. Does not want to be giving up the free picks, and this is where it really starts to come through. More utility being cleared, but Scurry reaggressing the angle. C4 from below, and now it's just Rizraz up against the world, up against the reality that faces them. eWAVE looking to crumble here in the final moments. They had 5 rounds, and it looks like they might not get many more. Rizraz against the world. Window being opened up behind the player inside of the bathroom. That is Blacklist. Actually, just stays in this position. Pro goes for the hop up, but shots don't connect. Flashbang through. 25 seconds. Frostmat denied. But there's 2 players there, and Shanks locks it down. NightWolve, they break the hearts of eWAVE. They stop the flood, they stop the tide, and they will march forwards here in the lower bracket. eWAVE, fall once, fall twice. Top 12 ain't bad, but it's all they're gonna get.
Yeah, it's a much closer round this time. 5-7 map here in Villa. But yeah, just unfortunately not enough. It's the final decider map. And NightWolves here being the team who is being victorious. It was a very interesting match today. eWAVE starting with a 7-3 score, going through the second map, losing with a 3-7, and then NightWolves being very dominant here, 5-7, or actually very close match, a very close match, 5-7. It could have gone either way, really, especially those last rounds. They seem to be so extremely close, but just NightWolves making those final 2 rounds count as they should, and therefore winning this final map. A beautiful matchup between these 2 teams. Very, very well matched in terms of skill level, I would say. And it was an absolute pleasure to watch this match.
5 defenses for NightWolve on this map, which is just kind of ridiculous to think about. Usually you do see those 4-2 halves, but eWAVE, they won that tertiary, and that was kind of all that they needed to do here. The rest of it just wrote itself. It was NightWolve even won the tertiary, and that was all they needed. So comes down to those defenses, and NightWolve, they broke that trend of faltering on that second half and reverse sweep, Max.
Yeah, indeed. It was a very, very interesting match right here. And yeah, this means basically that NightWolves is the team that proceeds into the lower bracket round 3, where we will be saying goodbye to eWAVE. If we actually quickly even bring up the bracket right here, we can actually see things a little bit better. Of course, this is the upper bracket. Sorry, we're looking for the lower bracket in this case. No, this is the lower bracket. Sorry, I'm saying it correctly. So as you can see, eWAVE then losing, NightWolves going to the lower bracket round 3. Just waiting for whoever wins the match between Team Black and Panda, which will be here on stream on Wednesday, so in 2 days from now. So NightWolves continuing the race, getting closer to potentially even go towards the grand final at one point. Of
Yeah,
course, the lower
possibly.
brackets, they have a long road to go compared to the upper bracket. Upper bracket is much, much shorter. You need to play way many less games compared to the lower bracket there. So still a long way to go, but they're on a good track right there. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we've kind of done that justice. I know that I want to go to bed. We've both had very long days, Max. I think that's fair to say. As we head out back to our wonderful studio, it's so nice and cozy in here. And hopefully the board let me out the basement. If not, I might just have to try and sneak my way through. Without further ado, I think that's probably us done for this stream. I just want to thank Max, who's been doing the spectating, producing. He's casting with me. Absolute unit, absolute machine. We love to see it. But yeah, I noticed you've also you've flipped in the transition up to this screen, which is interesting. But yeah, it's been a wonderful stream. It's been a wonderful game as well, and also you all in chat have been wonderful too. That's it from us here. We'll see you on Wednesday for, let me just get it up, Team Black versus
Penta,
Penta
right?
Sports PS. So another very, very good matchup, but that's in the future. For now, the present, we're finished. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Bye-bye. See you all Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Adios. See, I'm multilingual.